You reckon Gex is too sexy?
We didn't get the little pink sauce and something else. Oh, my meal.
I love the game. Peter, do a TikTok dance.
What are you doing? I'm actually going to propose tomorrow.
Gus, you have thoughts on that?
That's not how this works.
It's okay if it goes a little bit to the left. No one's bowling style is the same.
The big old cosmic cum.
Okay, right.
There's some like f***ed up shit there.
Let me know if they'd like to sit on Gus's face.
I'm sorry?
God looked down on me this day and said, "You horny sicko, it's your time to shine."
And I love you, random citizen.
And welcome back to Back Pocket, live from the Loki Studios.
Yes.
For Thursday,
Will
the 13th
Cannon.
of July. It couldn't be live without people. So let's look at them right now. There's one over there. This is a man that wrote in my official licensed Uncharted notebook with a personal message of just take my job. A year later, I did. It's Gus.
I forgot about that.
And she made Nolan North grumpy when he opened my officially licensed Uncharted notebook to see someone had already scribed Sic Parvis Magna before he could. It's Stephanie. Yeah. He was like, what the hell? This is
I
my...
out-Nolaned the North?
You got in
Wow.
first. He may not have signed my officially licensed Uncharted notebook, but I do know that some say he has 16 fingers on each hand, each one for a button on a Stream Deck XL. Some say he records personal audio commentaries for every episode of Back Pocket. All we know is he's called the Swift.
You crazy kids
Look at him,
back there.
Before we get to our special guest, there's other people in the room and they need introductions.
No, they don't.
There's one in the corner there. This man saw my former flatmate play I See Red in high school and thought, one day I'm going to let his guitar student work experience, and then I got employed. That's what happened. Also,
His name's Peter.
and that's Peter. Yeah, but they just get an intro without a name.
Without
you
a
see.
name, yeah, fair enough.
The only way you'll stop her tweeting gold is if someone creates a new arbitrary rule to get her account taken away. It's Ruby. And of course, yes, our special guest. She's an incredible presenter, an engaging writer, and a lovely human, but to me, her greatest accomplishment will always be fitting a cyberpunk gaming chair in her room that already had a negative amount of space. It's Jam! Yeah! Oh yeah! And it's me who got to write a bunch of words, including the words bingle bongle, dingle dangle, yickety doo, yickety ping pong, labby tabby tutar, which is a joke for a certain amount of people. And for those people, the tennis is on the weekend. They're probably going to play a trailer, and we're going to be back. There's going to be content. Welcome to the show, everybody.
What was that?
Yeah.
There must have been some weird Doctor Who shit.
First of all,
Yeah.
how'd you get ChatGPT to write all that? 'Cause that's amazing.
Lots of
Second of all, I love that there were a couple, as we all do, little fumbles through a word or two. But when you had to say whatever madness that was at the end, fucking crisp.
But that's because it's
Every
been in my
word
head
out
since
perfectly.
2007.
Bingo bang,
It's-
bingo bang,
yeah,
whatever that
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Still clear.
You know
Nailed
what that
it.
is?
Of course,
Yeah, okay.
of course I do.
No
Have
idea.
you met me?
Yeah.
So you both know what that meant?
Yes.
Yeah, Steph got nonned.
Welcome to the old side of the couch and the young and fun side over there.
Hey, no, I'm young and fun. I'm just...
We're the same age.
Jem, welcome to the show, Jem.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Welcome to the couch. How's things? What's been happening?
Man, it's been a day. We've already streamed once today.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. And when I turned up, Nom, who does all the TikTok stuff for ABC
Yes.
Gamer, was like, hey, we're going to do some TikToks. And I was like, great. She's like, are you familiar with this trend? And I was like, yes, absolutely. She's like, cool. So you just do these parts? I'm like, can you show me an example of another one so I can get the gist?
Do you remember any of them? Like in terms of something that would
One of them is
translate to-
what's the canon thing?
Oh, okay. So it's from Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like the
okay.
idea being that it's like the Spot's main theme, where it's like watching someone do something that you know is gonna end poorly, but you
Miguel's-
can't.
it's Miguel's
oh,
theme.
it's Miguel's
Yeah.
theme.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
But you
The, like,
can't intervene.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
canon
Noise.
event.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
first time I saw that, it was just like someone with a really long diatribe about like poor relationship
Yeah,
behavior
right.
and then like her just making a face. And I was like, I don't understand how this relates to that weird sound that I'm hearing. And then now I get it.
Is
but
it a
it's-
random filter head thing though? Is
No,
it one of
No, it's
those?
just the sound.
Oh.
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the sound.
Yeah.
It's not a like which thing are you?
No, it's
one
like
of
you're
those?
presenting your canon
Is that
event.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear it? Did I just hear it?
I think
I think
whatever
it's
just
canon
happened,
event.
that was your canon event.
I had a moment. I had a canon
It just
event.
happened for you.
I still don't quite get it.
I'm so sorry.
We were in the lift on the way up, and I was like, so the show gets pretty loose, and she's like, yeah. So what's the like rules? And I was like, oh, there are no rules.
And I was like, bet, let's go.
Start with some swear words.
Meanwhile,
It's good
the
when you're a
ABC
kids' TV host.
Yeah, true.
The ABC down the barrel of a gun. just
They're
like,
not
don't
watching
you
that.
dare.
No. Huge.
We got
Yeah.
Harry through the paces. Do you want to drop one?
Yeah, we got.
Yeah.
Say something.
I gotta
When the
build
time,
up
let
to
it
that.
warm up
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Let it
yeah.
warm up
It's
to
gonna
it.
come organically from the
Yeah.
chest.
Yeah.
It's open though. It's open. The floor is
Wonderful.
in.
Well, hopefully the ABC aren't watching because tonight we
Oh.
no. Hey, Peter, do a TikTok dance. Peter, that's your
nice.
canon event.
There you go.
I love that his flossing is just dad dancing at a wedding. Just going.
TikTok Peter's so wacky.
Also, you did just hear the noise.
I did, right?
I just heard it
Yeah.
again.
Okay, good. I'm
It's
not going
rumbling.
crazy.
It's rumbling.
We're hearing that.
We had to witness this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Just like you.
Sure, Josh.
Oh.
That's it.
That's
It
the
is
nice.
truly one of the greatest pieces
Is
I've
it
heard
not
lately.
similar? And we'll get on with the show at some point. But is it not similar to the sound that the audio
It's
cue in the
very
first
similar.
film when
Yes.
the Prowler was
Yeah,
on
yeah,
screen? Because I remember watching. They're both great films, The Spider-Verse. But every time the Prowler came on, the audio mix would go like, and you're like, Jesus.
I
Yeah.
believe it's actually the reverse.
Yeah. It's
Is
the
it?
same noise
It's the
backwards. So that's why it's a bit softer.
Yeah.
It's
So
not as
like
sharp.
it's like a callback.
Yeah.
In a funny way.
For those nerds out there.
They skyward sworded it.
We sure did.
Anyone?
Yes,
Anyone?
I get that reference.
Hey, I have some news.
Ooh.
My character in Final Fantasy got engaged.
Oh,
Yep, in Final Fantasy 14 online.
Yep.
So Middo and I have been playing through the campaign. There's many expansions, and we are now through 2 of them. And so I was like wondering when I should propose to Middo because when you get married in the game, you can benefit from player-to-player
I was gonna say,
teleportation.
there's a boost as well, right?
Yeah,
There's always in these games.
It's really, it's amazing because when you have a wedding in Final Fantasy, it's at a specific like castle location. It's an instanced event that you invite specific people to. That sends out invitations. There are NPCs that help you plan the whole thing, like the whole aesthetic and stuff. There's cutscenes and music, like it's amazing. So I was like, I mean, I just want to have a
and did you
wedding.
bring any of that footage for us to watch?
Well, no, we haven't had the wedding yet.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't had it yet?
No, I just proposed.
Yeah.
This is more elaborate than some actual weddings that I have been to.
I like
Yeah.
that real life weddings could use some NPCs to help
Yeah.
organize them as well. That's
There'll
just-
be a
Still the
wedding
room.
film that we can play on here. But I was trying to kind of organize this proposal, and when I was trying to, I had a few people in my FC free company, sort of helping me plan it and stuff, so I could probably surprise Middo, and I found this little location that is where our sort of free company house is that I figured would be good because there's no like enemies that would attack us and spoil the moment.
You don't want that to spoil
No.
your
Yeah.
engagement.
And so the day before I was like scouting the location and I was looking around and, I was like, this is where we'll get the bard to play the music and all that kind of stuff. And I had the like kneel emote that I was like practicing so that I could sort of see from which angle it would look cute and all that kind of stuff. And I was like hopping from like island to island in this little like watery area that was kind of by some green hills and it was just beautiful. And I was like, maybe I can kneel here. And then I stopped and turned. And because this is the free company sort of house area, it's where everyone's free company houses are. And there was a massive guild that has like prime real estate because they're a massive guild on the water. And one of the players from that guild was just standing on the shore and watching me. And I turned and looked at them and I went, hi. And she goes, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm actually going to propose tomorrow. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm kneeling. I just wanted to like pick the spot. And she was like, I love that for you. That's so nice. She's like, have you considered by the waterfall? And I was like, no. And she was like, let's go look. And we just went on this little journey together to like find the best view.
I love how far we've come in video games, where now we've like gone from like saving the princess, defeating the bad guy, to intense event management.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
also Instagrammable fake wedding.
But also that can be witnessed just from like strangers. Just being
I
like,
know,
"That's
yeah.
strange behavior
Just
in a
camping
video
on the
game.
hill.
Yeah, because like instantly she would have been watching me and been like, what is she doing?
Did
Wow.
Pete, you married Barjo in Elder Scrolls? Yeah, so I remember there was that wedding. There was like the horses on the beach, and then they consummated under a tree.
Oh,
Romantic.
I think. Yep.
I actually watched that episode.
Nice.
I remember that episode.
And it
Weirdly
was
enough.
also they got a buff or a boon or something like that. Well, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
We look forward to not only seeing it, but the invitations.
Well, there's a free
Yeah.
trial, so if you want to
Sick.
come to the wedding, you can create a character and you
I'm
can
gonna
come.
make an account just to come to this
Yeah,
wedding.
it's
now.
gonna be off the chain.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be great.
We're gonna be like the real life +1. Like, you know, when someone comes to a wedding, they're like, I
like
don't really
wedding-
know what's
wedding-
going
yeah,
on.
wedding crashes. Yeah.
But you
that's
could bring
good.
someone who doesn't know how to play the game
Yeah.
as well. That
Yeah.
level of like irritation would ruin all your photos.
Yeah, we-
jumping in and
Yeah,
out.
can I
can
just
walk
camp in a
through a frame.
tree,
Yeah.
just like and
Totally.
watch from above like a creepy little gargoyle?
Yeah,
It's
there
like,
must,
that's
surely there's
good.
like I'm sure there's like a swift kick from the wedding if like people are acting out. Just like no.
the bouncer at the end. I'm sorry, you gotta leave.
How was the response to the proposal?
Oh,
I probably should ask.
yeah,
that's true.
Meadow was thrilled.
Yeah.
Good.
He said yes.
Excellent.
And we went on a wonderful journey together to finish the Heavenswood expansion. It was awesome.
That sounds like a metaphor.
Yeah.
We went on an adventure to finish the Heavenswood expansion.
Yeah.
You get my
Expansion, you
drift.
say.
Fades to black.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
it was awesome. It was
Congratulations.
Yeah.
a very cute, weird, only in an MMO moment.
I love that.
Wild. But yeah, sorry, you guys just finished the stream. So you're either on like burnout tonight or this is going to be like extra energy.
I'm
Don't quite
vibrating
know.
out of my seat, man. Let's go.
Because you're hosting GGSP still.
Yes, I am.
And you're doing stuff with ABC Gamer as part of the loot drop and that kind of stuff as well. You're doing live streams. Is anyone left? Is it just you running around at the moment, just like running everything?
Me, Gog, and Elliot
Yeah,
are the
okay, right.
the remaining bunch, just running around like mad chickens, but also unsurprised by everything in life. But
Good.
no, it's been good. It's been good.
Because you were too chipper when I was there, and I like that the cynic has finally won. Like,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
The depression hit hard.
I didn't mean that. I just meant like, you know.
Yeah.
I was always a buzzkill in there, and you were like, ah. And I was like, oh, now you know what I mean.
Gus has seen it. He's been there.
He's
I can
been
see it in
through it
his
all.
eyes.
Yeah.
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 No, I feel like I'm still pretty bubbly and pretty chipper. I just now crack the occasional very dark joke that surprises
Yeah, good.
everyone.
Good. I'll leave that.
And it's also like it's the coolest job ever. It's just that
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
anytime you work in an institution, it's always just like, let me be creative and free.
Yeah.
And I was like, we'll come here and we'll do whatever we want.
Also, if you want to have like a bad
see.
day,
You
if you want to have a grumpy day at any other job,
Yeah.
like an office job or something, you can just stomp around and be grumpy. But when you have to do kids TV, and well, you can stomp
With
on those.
these stompers,
Yeah.
I'm always armed.
Yeah.
But like, if you then need to be in front of a camera and be, and again, we're going to do a little bit of this later tonight, little teaser. But if you have to just be actively happy when you're in a bad mood,
Yeah.
I feel like, but there are episodes I could go back and watch that it's like there's something bubbling under the surface.
There is a very clear, and I think we're both quite good at this, a very clear, when you hear cut, my face goes,
All the muscles release.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
I've always been that way because I'm pretty introverted outside of camera stuff and more so in those situations because I have to conserve energy. So I feel like it feels like I'm being like weirdly over the top, which is different to my normal personality, but it's more just like you have to balance. So you have to be more withdrawn to be able to make the, you know?
The heightened moment.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I do feel like I'm permanently stuck in like kids presenter mode where I'm always like overreacting a little bit too much, but
Yeah.
it becomes so natural to me now that I'm just like, this
Funerals
feels
are
very
hard now,
normal.
aren't they? They're-
I have the opposite problem now. When I come back on your stream, I have to like stop myself from saying stuff.
Yeah.
You know, there's been a few things where I've just been like, holy, so that almost.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So true.
I mean, if you want to go see the live stream, remember to go check out ABC Gamer on
Yeah.
YouTube and
We'll
TikTok.
give you a moment to plug later. Or no, plug
Yeah.
everything.
I did
you
say-
want. Do it.
I
Do
did
it.
say porn tonight, which I
did.
shouldn't have.
and I saw
alright.
Elliot's eyebrows go,
Yeah, I
but
know.
we
But
were-
I was like, that's fine. And then afterwards, I was like, maybe that wasn't fine.
Was it anecdotal? Like it just fit in a
Well,
story?
I was telling them about how you.
Wait, really?
we were talking about we were about to play
Whoa.
1-2 Switch, and they were like, it was the photo game, and they're like, oh, we can open this up to the audience, and I was like,
secret.
no.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we tested that. In fact, Gus uploaded porn to test it,
Yeah.
Wasn't
which
prepared.
is true.
Which looked hilarious bouncing around the Nintendo screen with the characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did the testing for you so you didn't have to go through
Yeah.
that mistake.
we
Yeah.
did a custom, well, Harry made it, Harry and Dan made it, a custom quiz as part of
Oh, wow.
Everybody 1-2 Switch.
Oh, is it better than the fucking questions that are in there?
So much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's not, from what I saw, there's not a filter on that
Yeah, of
either.
course. Yeah,
so
good.
you can really write whatever the hell
Because
you
we were saying
want.
Nintendo's usually pretty good. Like
Yeah.
they try to
Yeah.
over-censor
Yeah.
usernames and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you want to get a big hard wang as a user profile pic, or you want to make a quiz question about a big hard wang, Nintendo's not going to stop you.
They won't.
Let's see.
right, well.
Let's see if that's the last time anyone says big hard wang on the show.
Yep.
While we jump into our next segment, a little bit of backup.
Hey.
Big hard wang.
Oh, he did it again. Next week, that thing's going to run into something pixelated.
It's gonna be.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for a little bit of backup. Not too much, not too little, just the right amount. And a little bit of backup is brought to us by our patron, EvilSpyBoy.
He's tiny. Hang on.
Pardon?
That's the bit. I like it, though.
I'm so sorry, that Barbie burger did not agree with me.
I really thought it would be big hard wang again as the.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sure.
EvilSpyBoy?
There we go.
It is the. Hopefully, Chat can hear me now. I fixed it
Yeah.
before. Hopefully, it's the SpongeBob boo up, like
Yeah.
sad SpongeBob sound.
When he
I feel
walks.
like I heard that back in the day on like an Apple Mac IIe is one of like
Yeah.
sounds as well. But appreciate and love your work, Josh, as usual. As we do, Evil Spy Boys, get your exclamation mark. Evil Spy Boys out in the chat. If you would like to also be as helpful as Evil Spy Boy and helping out Food Bank Australia, head to foodbank.org.au where you can help out as well. Thank you for being a patron, and thank you to everyone who does get aboard that. All right, a little bit of backup is where we take a little story and we talk about it. And this week, we found out quite recently that the original Gex trilogy is heading to modern platforms.
Sick.
Gex. Anyone?
Real quick, Gus. Hello to Fortress once again. I've just
Hey,
received.
Fortress.
Oh, I'm
Hey,
so,
Fortress.
Oh, just.
Yeah, just.
Hey, Fortress.
I'm so glad that the big hard wang
Big
chat
hard wang
made it
Fortress.
to Fortress.
Can we get a big hard wang in the chat?
Yeah.
Can we get a big hard wang in the chat,
That's
everyone?
so great.
Either the three people in the front row just going, what do I
We've
want?
had this discussion, but I'm pretty sure we're muted over there. Like,
yeah,
I
no.
think it's
Oh.
just vision.
Cowards.
I think we're just.
I hope so.
I think we're just color and movement.
Someone mime out big hard wang.
Unless it's captioned, which would somehow be worse, I think.
Yeah.
You know when they put like auto captions on
Yeah.
stuff?
Oh, man, like, it says big hard wang, but it must be saying something else.
Yeah, they're
They
wrong.
must be talking about something else. We are talking about Gex. Gex is a series that is beloved by some, I'm going to say. And we got a trailer recently saying that there is going to be a new remake, or I should say, the Limited Run Games has revealed it's working alongside Square Enix, who holds the right to the IP to re-release the original
Nice.
trilogy of Gex. I did not know
Wow,
there were
this
three.
intro. That's amazing.
Well, Gex was like Enter the Gecko was the name of one of the games in the series. Gex Enter the Gecko and Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XS,
yeah,
and
look
Switch
at
and
that.
PC. The games will be ported to modern platforms by Limited Run Games' own Carbon Engine, a tool in development in-house specifically to port incredibly accurate versions of classic games to current machines. So, we all like a port, but do we like an abstract update port of a series that probably none of us have played?
I'll be real. I was well distracted by the grippers on that lizard. Sorry, it was just like
He's
right.
a gecko.
Yeah,
I know, but
yeah.
like just right out in frame. Just get him out there.
Well, they boldly, when they launched Gex, instead of just being a
yeah,
mascot,
look at those bad boys.
they-
Yeah.
Wiki
they
Feet rating would be very high though.
They made him a parody of James Bond for
Yeah.
no apparent reason.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was, again, Gex Enter the Gecko.
The 90s was a strange like time of anthropomorphizing animals.
You had to make a mascot.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like always like a bit too sexy.
Wait, sorry?
You know what I mean? Like they're always like a bit too sexy.
I mean, you think like Lola Bunny. Oh, something's happening behind me.
Yeah.
Peter's here for seat adjustment. Lean forward.
Leaning.
Pull your pillow forward.
Too sexy.
Too sexy. Whoa. Hang on.
I have to say it, but let me know if you'd like. Let me.
Chaos in the studio today.
Cut to the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We do
Because
have this
I'm
big hard
here.
wang.
Yeah.
Anyone can let me know if they'd like to sit on Gus's face.
There you go. Fortress?
That'd make Elliot's eyebrows raise. You reckon Gex is too sexy?
Yeah,
Or
well,
sexy?
No,
The
I'm
grippers.
not talking about Gex specifically, but I just mean like of that time, it just feels like they would make, and there was always like a girl version who had like really epic hips. Like, do you guys remember what was Tailspin?
Oh, yeah.
The bear in that
Sorry,
was
you had called
she
and
was
responded not
oh,
respond.
We're
Tailspin.
too young for this one.
God
yeah,
damn it.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I got
and
nothing, man.
There was a sexy mum bear.
I see.
She was exactly.
Classic.
She had like banging hips. She had like these big eyelashes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, I think you're right. There's a lot of attitude in the mascots that they all came up with back then. I was going to try and point out a few other mascots that might be getting remakes, and Croc was one of them.
Crocs, yeah, it's kind of a developer was like, we're doing it,
Yeah.
and that was kind of the
And
end
in
of
terms
that.
of sexy
Very.
and attitude,
Yeah,
Croc
yeah.
has none of that.
That's a hot lizard. Is it lizard?
Croc
Croc's
has
a
a
croc.
Croc is a crocodile.
Croc
No,
is
but I think is a crocodile a lizard?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a reptile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
I stand my case. Hot lizard. It's on my brand.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a hot lizard. That's true. That's true.
A little hush in the studio,
Yeah,
please.
quiet back there, please.
Oi.
God.
Ahem. Shut up.
Ruby's played Gex.
I play Gex.
Oh, well, Ruby should speak.
I know
It's
nothing about
time
Gex.
for me to speak.
Okay, Ruby, what are you excited about Gex? Or at least getting
Gex
a
is
remake?
back. It's been really sad because they locked Gex in a dungeon for years, and didn't want to do any new games. And even with the when Square Enix decided to sell all their Western studios to the Embracer Group, Crystal Dynamics was one of them. And a friend of mine who's a big Gex head, she told me that apparently there was this whole thing where they didn't actually know whether or not Gex's the rights to Gex belonged to Square Enix or Crystal Dynamics at this time. So it was thought that Gex would never come back. No Gex ever. Hashtag Gex is not back. But in fact, hashtag Gex is back.
But do you think this is one of those points that, like, should Gex be back? Like,
Yes.
does Gex actually have a following because it was a good game? I would argue probably not. I would say it's one of those things that
No,
people
it's
have
good.
an unwarranted nostalgia that they
Actually
think
rocks.
Gex was great, and they go, no, a gecko in a
feel like
tuxedo.
Of anybody to have nostalgia for the 90s and directly make references back to it, it would be you.
I still have my
You're
sensibilities about my
Gex-coded.
nostalgia.
You're literally Gex-coded.
I had a
like, you're
poster-
so Gex.
I had a poster of Gex.
Oh, knew it. He was like, Gex is sexy.
You
Wait
are
a
Ready
minute.
Player One.
So have they so how much effort have they put into this?
Well, at the moment they're talking, as I said, about like using a new engine to rebuild the game. So they're remakes,
So,
they're
like,
not just upgrades.
Quite a lot.
Well, yeah, and even the trailer itself had like an animated kind of cartoon
Yeah.
version looking, where
And-
he was very polygonal and like that early
Yeah.
N64 kind of vibes, where they were trying a bit of everything.
And who made it? Do we know?
The original?
Yeah.
That was Crystal Dynamics,
Crystal.
and Square Enix and Embracer Group have bought. Wow.
Yeah, well, they
It?
bought.
Well, they
parts of
must
Square.
feel like they must be confident that it's got a big enough audience to warrant.
It's interesting they do limited run because they genuinely, it's in the name. It's usually a limited run of games, so it's interesting they've tapped them to do it. So
Yeah, right.
do we know how like wide the release is? Is it a
Yeah.
fairly like locked thing, or is it just going to be in stores? Because
Well, sorry, I take it back. I don't think it's a remaster. Croc's
Yeah.
getting a remaster.
yeah, I think this sounds like it's just a port.
It
to-
is
to
a port,
modern,
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
People yearn for Gex.
Because limited run,
true.
it's kind of it's a small. It's like if you love this thing, we're making it. Buy the thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of limited
Okay.
runs thing. So it sounds like that's
It's
it's
for
going to
those
find its
fans.
audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gex is
Stop
not-
saying
not
Gex
real.
heads.
Calling themselves Gex
You can't
heads,
make it a
or-
thing.
No.
Spiceman in the chat does say Gex sells, which is a good
Gex
point.
That's a good point.
Which is a very good point.
Good point, man.
Mm.
I tip my non-existent hat off to you.
I never really understood the idea. Again, I might have just slept on the first Gex.
Yeah.
That sounds sexy. But the second one was Gex Enter the Gecko, and then
Wait.
had him in a tuxedo. And was it Enter the Gecko? What was
Maybe.
it? Gex
You got
Enter
the
the
poster.
Gecko, and had him in a James Bond outfit.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of doing a bit of a like, let's add the personality of James Bond to him. I don't think the first Gex had him in a tux. I might be incorrect. But it just felt like they were inserting an attitude and
Because it was
personality where
around
it didn't need to
like
exist.
GoldenEye as
Yeah.
well. Like,
Yeah.
it was like that worked. So
Yeah,
let's
it's
pull
a,
that
it's a
in.
cash in on an existing property that people know, like, oh, we can associate that. We're ripping it off. Like, that's
Also-
fun.
My parents told me once that geckos make the noise that when they move of gecko, and that's why they're called geckos.
No.
I don't believe it either, but it scared the shit out of me as a
They,
four-year-old.
they,
Yeah.
make
Gecko.
Yeah.
they make a really high squeak sound though.
I thought, but my family, they're saying gecko.
They're saying gecko.
Do we have geckos in Australia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never
yeah.
seen one with my own eyes.
You need to be
nor
somewhere
heard
pretty
its
warm.
cry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
Chat might back me up here or might just call me out, but I'm pretty sure geckos make they say their name.
And
Anyone?
in the studio now, a live gecko.
Anyone?
Here it comes.
Nothing. No one's got it.
No,
No
no one's
tucks in
here
one.
for it.
No, my family has trolled me. Thank you. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
How many people have you told that?
If you're a
fact to?
Gex head, yay, get
Get the
excited.
chat, Gex heads.
Get in the chat because all 3 games are coming out soon.
Yeah.
We'll play them. We'll put them on the show.
Yeah. Come on, Will.
Or Ruby will.
Ruby definitely will. Ruby definitely will. But we
Yeah.
should talk about the games that we
Gex
have been
head.
playing in the segment. What game was it that we played? Gecko?
Well done.
Ooh,
Ooh, that worked.
Nice.
Thank you.
Now it's time for what we've been playing. Thank you. I didn't open my thingy. What we've been playing, a segment that's brought to us by our wonderful patron, BuriBuri.
I don't like that.
I love it. It should-
I think it's just a little bit farty.
Yeah.
Which I don't know
But
that we want. Do we
it's
want
a-
to be associating that with our patrons?
But it's a follow-through fart, that noise.
What do you mean a follow-through fart?
It's a boo wop.
It's a
It sounds
it's a-
like when you're trying to like hold in a burp, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's approaching vom territory.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
Okay, again, not something we really want to associate with our patrons.
Yeah.
Hi, Fortress.
Okay. It's sponsored by BuriBuri, our wonderful patron. And one thing we like to do for BuriBuri is we like to read out a weird legal fact. Gets us all kind of wondering how that ever... I guess they're more like pre-existing laws.
Yeah.
So this strange law... I mean, it makes sense. I guess it's not that strange. In London,
Stitch you up for that one.
in London, it is illegal to flag down a taxi if you have the plague.
Yeah.
I mean, haven't we all been in that situation before?
Yeah.
Got the plague, need to get somewhere.
Yeah. And look, normally I'd be like, oh, like that law should be removed. 'cause
Discrimination to
it's,
plague.
it's it's
Carriers.
outdated, but like,
I mean, it is outdated.
yeah. But then we went through another pandemic and
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
well,
Did they bring that one back? And they were like, this was an old law about horse and carriages and people with like the plague. And now they're like, well, it has a modern day version.
But
Does
we're
this have a
keeping it-
relevance again?
The plague.
Yeah, we won't change the name.
For pizzazz.
That costs
and
money.
razzle dazzle.
Because
Yeah,
plague
yeah.
is like boils and rats, and you wear a hood and you're like, "Don't look at me.
I think it still exists.
I'd like to go
You
to
just-
Central Station."
Oh, wait, can I pop my hood up on this?
That was me hailing
hang
a
on,
cab.
hang on.
Is that plaguey?
Get back. It doesn't quite
That's
work.
true.
You just look like May from Overwatch.
Yeah.
I don't know any of her lines, but there we go.
You do, totally.
I cosplayed May once.
Did you?
Yeah, back
And
in
you don't
like...
know any of her lines?
Oh, no, I had no idea, man.
Yeah, you're good.
I got really into like all the cinematics with Overwatch.
Yeah.
And then tried to play the game once and got called a slur. And was like, you know what? I'm good. I won't anymore.
Take this deck. That's
yeah.
all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
No, we're not done with the plague.
Drop that one.
We clearly are.
We're done.
We love you, BuriBuri. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Let's start with Gem. Do you mind kicking us off with what you've been playing? I know
Yeah,
it's kind of
alright.
like putting you out there, but
No, totally. I've been playing so much Oxenfree II right now. Lost
Nice.
Signals. For those who don't know, Oxenfree is this really, really cool. It was released in 2016, a mystery horror adventure game where you and your new stepbrother and a friend go to this scary island called Edwards Island and find out that there are radio signals interfering with the fabric of reality, essentially. And bringing across beings that need to stay back beyond the rifts in time and space. Oxenfree II takes place 5 years after that with a new host of characters, but with references to the first game that I'm really curious where they're going to take it. You are now on the mainland overlooking Edwards Island, and you have messed around with radio signals again, and a giant portal has opened. And there are, it's like a cult that is working with the ghosts of people who had died in a submarine incident called the USS Calisan, I think. And you're caught in an endless time loop, trying to fix mistakes and also work out what it is you've managed to unlock and stumble into. And it's bloody brilliant.
wow.
I'm obsessed, man. I love a spooky good time.
In terms of a sequel, is it like, are there any of the same characters from the first one?
Well, so far I haven't seen any of our main protagonists, but the first game ended a variety of ways depending on your actions. So I imagine it'd be quite hard to do an exact follow up to that. But there have been references to previous characters.
Okay.
So I'm very curious where they go from there. I'm still early days, but
In a kind of general way.
yeah.
And you're not sort of choosing the characters you're playing. You're following a sort of story, and they're kind of. Are you playing the same two characters, or
Only playing as Riley. So you are in this one playing as Riley, who is a she's being contracted to come to the island or come to the mainland and set up a bunch of transmission things to try and get local signal restored so planes can go through. But there's some interference coming from Edward Island that kind of sets this chain of events into motion. But you choose how you respond to characters, and that influences what they think of you. And I assume, much like the first game, influences how they're going to behave as you go forward.
Because that was like the big selling point of the first Oxenfree, right? Because I'll be honest, I don't see the appeal of this game, and I never really got the vibe of the first one because it had this sort of like teen movie angsty, like they're all just talking when they should be doing, and it just seemed really conversational and
emotions.
feeling
Story?
And no, I love story, but I didn't translate to this sort of a conversation while the game is progressing, because I kind of like my story and then my gameplay kept separate. Like, I'm just saying,
Get them apart from
Get
each
them
other. They
apart.
mustn't touch.
cutscene.
That's like, I like my peas and my mashed potato on the opposite side of the plate. And I
Wait
eat
till I
one
talk about my
first,
game.
and
It'll
then the other.
you'll understand a lot
I want
clearer.
to shoot and talk later. It's fine. Get it over there.
I there's something about just like having that conversation mid, like I'm exploring, I want to be taking that in. But clearly there's an appeal for that, and you really enjoy that style of storytelling. I'm just wondering, has they built on that, or is it just more of the same?
It's still very much the same in that conversation is kind of your weapon in a lot of ways, because all you really have to, in terms of like how you talk to the creatures and how you talk to your friends, kind of determines how they're going to react to you. Only real weapon you have at your disposal is a tunable radio, which when you tune to the right frequencies can disrupt them while they're possessing people.
Interesting.
That's really all you have to do, but it is a lot of talking and kind of navigating these like pitfalls of conversation. Sometimes they've added a thing in this one where when you say something, I don't know what triggers it exactly, a thought bubble will pop up on the person you're talking to's head with your face. And they haven't explained if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to find that out.
What's like the expression you have on your face in the thought bubble typically?
It's just a picture of your face, like with a neutral expression.
So it's like a telltale. They might remember that thing.
Yeah, sort of.
Or like, is this your canon event?
Yeah, it is.
Is it like these are the things?
Yeah,
Well,
could be.
there's this great bit, and this isn't really a spoiler, but in the very in the beginning, when you realize, oh shit is gonna go down, where you're stuck in this loop, and the frame like sinks in on you, like there's like a pixel effect that comes in as you go through, and she's like, this frustration Riley exhibits over. She realizes very quickly what's happening. But that like, oh, for God's sake, are you kidding me? Going through again and again. I really love that because it's such a realistic approach. Like, you don't have to go through the whole like explaining what's going on. You very much catch on. And she's so done with it.
And the writing in the first one, I think, was a highlight for a lot of people. So it's like same kind
stunning.
of thing here in terms of like good voice acting, good writing, good characters, that kind of vibe.
Amazing. Like, it is very much, if you didn't enjoy the first one, you're not going to like this one because it is essentially more of the same. But as someone who really loves those very story and narrative focused games that have such great writing, I love a good sprinkle of a spooky story in there.
Oh,
So
sure.
combining two of my favorite things into one sick package, love it.
I guess I just want to find, like, I can see what's really wonderful about this game, but I loved Kentucky Route Zero. And that feels like this, but with that feels like this with talking, because Kentucky Route Zero has like very little dialogue, if not any, but it has the same like dark mystery, interesting place, trying to solve those puzzles, platforming, little bits of interactions, but like it's just the constant talking to someone, a companion walking around.
But I think if the writing is really good, and is this voice acted? Or
Yes, fully voice acted. And I will say, for those who were annoyed, the first game had this really irritating thing where sometimes when you go to select a dialogue option, it would cut off the person who was talking.
Right.
And I hate that because I want to hear everything.
Yeah.
I need subtitles on all the time because I have like an auditory processing.
Do you mean when you went to
Hero?
perform an action, the person would stop talking?
Yeah, so when you go to select, like, because you're kind of on a timer sometimes for
Yeah.
conversation, it would cut them off. It doesn't do that anymore. It lets it play out, then you start talking, which is great.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's good. And is this a kind of multiple ending situation? Like, are you affecting the story in a...
Don't know yet.
I'm not sure yet.
Was the first game like that?
The first game was like that. So you could influence relationships and that would determine what ending you got at the end. Obviously, not the beginning. But then you also had a thing where you could start a new game and there were little crossover bits where you're like, I've been through this before.
Yeah,
and characters
cool.
know I've been through this before.
Could you play this without playing the first one?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
It's really good at explaining. 'Cause one thing I hate in very narrative heavy games is the way exposition's delivered. When it's like very obvious, they're like throwing stuff at you. They don't do that here. It's very cleverly woven in. Like, I'd forgotten so much of the first game. And I was like, oh, right, yeah, that's such a good way to bring that up again.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
yeah, I love it. I think it's great. It's not for everybody, but if you're a little spooky time,
And if you've got Netflix,
I was going to say, does it feel any different? Because this is their, to me, this is their first, like, we did it. We made an indie game.
right.
Does it feel
Yes.
different at all?
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
I
go.
didn't even realize it was from Netflix
Yeah.
until I went to research it and was like, oh, right.
Yeah.
But it's on Switch, it's on PlayStation, it's on PC.
Can you play it on your TV?
no, but if you've got the
No.
Netflix,
Netflix
app on your
Yeah,
phone,
totally.
you have access to it, and you have a Netflix subscription.
Yeah, you have it.
There should be a thing where
didn't
you
know
can play it
that.
on your TV
Yeah.
and then you use the phone as like the way to control it.
Like a Wii U.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
a Wii U.
Yeah, be behind
could
that.
be,
I
yeah.
don't think TVs can talk to phones. I'm gonna sound old now.
What?
Can
Google
TVs?
Cast
They
exists.
definitely can. They definitely can. That's a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
It's
casting
absolutely
and
a
stuff.
thing,
That's,
Gus.
that's how you know how you
not.
play, play music
voice.
here?
TVs are computers
Not like
now.
1-to-1. You can't platform with a phone and press like jump and see someone jump. You can change.
We
the
literally
Spotify
did
track.
this last week on the show with 100 people who weren't in the room.
That's a fair point.
Ooh,
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't
yeah,
work that way.
yeah.
Alright.
Interesting. Oh well, yeah.
I'm
Great,
old
that's
and I
cool.
don't like narratives.
Keep them separate.
Keep
Get
them
them out
separate.
of here.
Out of my game.
Concluding statement, bloody love it.
Yeah, nice.
What a time.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, cool. All right. Oxenfree II. I'm excited to sort of hear how it wraps up for you. That's exciting.
Me too.
Okay. I think I'll go next.
Go for it.
Because I want to talk about Final Fantasy some more.
Here we go.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy 16.
Right.
Okay. So I talked
You're
about the
single
demo.
again.
Oh my gosh. This game. Listen. I know. Okay.
We're listening.
I know it seems like when I'm talking about Final Fantasy, I'm just talking about sexy stuff. But listen, they know what they're doing, and they're
Oh,
making.
look at this.
Oh,
They're making a game.
Is that the hottie?
Yeah. Okay. So they know this game is the kind of the Final Fantasy game that I really was excited to play because it is hard into like traditional fantasy, very inspired by like Game of Thrones
Yeah.
and very kind of traditional gritty fantasy aesthetic.
Because last one in this last numbered one was Boy Band in a Car, right?
Yeah, boy band in a
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Wow, what a
totally.
classic.
Yeah. Which is also very like classic Final Fantasy.
Totally.
But one of the writers or the major devs in this game worked on the expansion of Final Fantasy XIV that everyone loves the most, or most people love. So I was excited to kind of experience the story and I guess the production value because it is stunning. And the intro demo was just like this epic, massive icon battle fight that was just insane and was like the most incredible way to kind of kickstart a story.
Yeah, it looks it.
Central character. You can scrub through. This is I don't know. This is like a side.
I've
quest or
literally lost something in a haystack, and I'm like,
Get your narrative out of
There
here.
we go.
yeah. So you play Clive, who is a dominant. I've been trying to get my head around the.
I'm sorry, what?
I know. Do you want to go back
There's
to
a
that
few
one real
things to
quick?
unpack
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Clive, who is a dominant. He is. This is a world where magic exists, and the source is from kind of like a sort of a crystal ether stuff, and dominants have a natural affinity to be able to access that and then also kind of like Power Ranger transform into a big icon when they kind of in a particularly emotional, stressful situation. And then there are people who are called bearers who have a natural affinity with magic. And then there are normies who have no natural affinity with magic, but they can channel magic through crystals. So the normies, they have like taken over the world, and they're kind of using bearers as like slaves, basically, to use magic for whatever they want. And so they've been kind of marked with this kind of like a brand on their faces as, dirty magic users.
Right.
And Clive has been branded as one of those, even though he is actually a dominant and has cool magic powers. So it's a pretty cool. Oh well, he's kind of like a.
It's Final Fantasy, so you can explain. I was gonna say, like for your own sake, it's like there's a lot of lore and there's a lot of resetting up a universe and I imagine. So like within that, that's kind of the top line, and there's a lot more to.
Totally.
Yeah.
But everyone in this game is like incredibly hot. Like too good looking. Like it is so distracting that everyone is so hot that I'm like, and it's not just that they're designed in a way that is like super hot. It's like every conversation they have feels really flirtatious because everyone's super kind of emo and intense. And so when someone's like, are you going on that quest later? And then the next person goes, yeah.
Oh, my kryptonite, hot conversations of ordinary topics.
And that person's like, be careful. And they're like,
ooh,
I will.
Is it hot
And
in
it's
here?
like-
It's just me.
What? Just talk normally.
Stop being stupid, sexy, dominance.
Yeah. So
Sometimes-
everyone's super
sometimes
hot.
works.
Okay. So then I'm like,
What'd you say your name was again?
I'm like
Clive.
trying to
Clive and I'm a
contain.
dom.
I'm trying to like contain the thirst, but like and then everyone has these like outfits and stuff, and then they're like, you know, making like sly jokes and stuff, and then central protagonist like randomly naked for no reason, and I'm just
of
like,
reasons.
I'll just take a few screenshots like for later, just because we can like
Yep.
you know remember that moment.
Big hug, Clive.
Yeah, and then they have these kind of like, they're so reserved in their dialogue, and it's so like very posh fantasy dialogue, but then we'll kind of, in a way that I would say is specifically Final Fantasy, make awkward jokes to make things sexual when they aren't, to make you, the player, feel awkward in a weird way. I don't
Try
know.
and shame me, game.
I don't
Try
know.
and yuck my yum here.
I'm just obsessed with it. It's like a weird. I did not expect myself to love it so much, but I'm kind of weirdly drawn into it, even though it all feels very soap opera and hammy as well. Gameplay-wise, the combat is really fun. It's taken me a while to learn it. A very frustrating game to watch me play on stream because I'm like slow to onboard like systems and I guess like you know, fight systems and stuff like that. And every time I put the game down, I come back to it a few days later and I'm like, gotta relearn it all. 'Cause
To
I've
give
forgotten it all.
yourself credit, though, like that's a pretty meaty system to get your head around, especially like when you've got so many others already up in the noggin, ready to go.
Yeah. It has an accessibility option, which I think is actually really cool. Apart from just the sort of difficulty settings, it's like you can focus on story, you can focus on action. And so I chose like the just standard action option. But there are items that you can pick up in the game that kind of act as combat modifiers. So there's one that, for example, that I put on at the start that gives you an extended dodge window. So that if you haven't dodged, it's like, hey, dodge, and there's like a circle going down that
Yeah,
you can
right.
gives you a bit more like leeway. So I was using that at the start because I'm like typically bad at dodging. But what I found was then I just wasn't really learning to develop that reflex.
Right.
And it was
becoming
kind
like
of
a crutch.
yeah, and it was kind of interrupting the fight a lot. And so I ended up just taking it off. And I went through a period of just, you know, kind of being sort of slammed a little bit. But then it ultimately was for the better. And there's all kinds of different modifiers that you can pick up throughout the game that you can equip that will, I think, act as a really malleable accessibility difficulty option that I think more games should take on. Because I really like that. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm just choosing easy.
Yeah.
It feels like, and I guess the fact that you kind of go unlocking more as you go, you can change the way you play and how much you want that kind of assist happening. And there are other ones that are kind of less intense. They're just like, oh, you heal more when you pick up a healing potion or something like that, you know. So I really, really like that system. You sort of start taking on different types of magical abilities as you progress throughout the game, and that sort of extends your wheelhouse of abilities that you can use. And it also means that, you know, initially all of my magical abilities were on a cooldown, and when I picked up more abilities, it meant that I could kind of rotate off to different types of magic while those were on cooldown, and it just made me feel more powerful and cool.
Are you enjoying the fact that, so the combat in this was, they took on one of the developers who worked on the Devil May Cry series to make it more moment-to-moment combat heavy, versus like traditionally Final Fantasy comes from team turn-based, and then they've slowly but surely been making it more of an action like an action combat game versus what Final Fantasy is traditionally. Are you enjoying the fact that that's now kind of like, it is literally a sword swinging game versus, like, for me, Final Fantasy was, you had a party, you know, you choose attack, defend, potion, move around your group, AoEs, that kind of thing. This has been developed far more to be an action game.
Yeah.
And I know there's mixed responses, but generally positive. And I think I would respond to it better that it's actually an action game now versus lots of sub-menus. Like, that was a Final Fantasy staple. It's like, are you finding that?
Yeah, I think so. I think the barrier for a lot of Final Fantasy with me was that it was like, it felt very UI heavy, and the systems were felt weirdly managerial in the way that you approached combat. Whereas, this is definitely feels more intuitive and actiony, and it feels really smooth to play. Maybe just scrub to a different part of the game.
Man, all I'm thinking now is like, damn, Oxenfree is like really lacking things to do. Like, you can do this, that, and like you can talk and walk around and also tune a radio.
Different genre.
So different.
The one thing I will say about it is that I guess kind of stood out to me just because it's been a while since I've played a game that's quite like this, is it does feel incredibly linear in that, so many modern fantasy RPGs are open world, and this very much is kind of funneling you through a specific thing. So you kind of fast travel between points, and even when you're kind of going through certain areas, like a forest, for example, it's very much like a forest tunnel, if that makes sense.
Right.
Is that kind of nice when you think about like how many open world, I have like open world fever at the moment. I'm a little bit burnt out.
That's the thing. I think it only bothers me because I'm so aware of it from a game design perspective, but actually from a gameplay quality of life perspective, I'm like grateful because
Thank you.
Because I don't have it in me to have the restraint to not go in every direction and make sure I'm not missing everything. And then I just get overwhelmed and I put the game down and I don't come back to it. Yeah. This, I know I have a chance of like actually finishing because it is just kind of taking you through, and it does a really good job of making those set pieces feel beautiful and it doesn't actually look like a tunnel. It's just that the person in me who plays a lot of video games is hyper aware of it.
You're like, obviously I have to go here now.
Yeah, but I was like taking heaps of screenshots of it because it was so beautiful. But that's just like the one thing that I find is like, there are some games that do that better than others, that make it feel open even when it's kind of not.
It's that organic kind of environmental design that quite naturally leads you down this path.
And other little things like every item you pick up is a little glowing ball that's kind of just sitting in the environment. To me feels gamey as well, and I would like maybe change that. But otherwise, like, it looks gorgeous. I keep taking screenshots. The characters are all hilarious and emo and dramatic and so intense. Everything is so intense.
Well, I was going to say the only other thing was like, it's getting mixed reviews in the sense that the story, it's long, it's big, it's like a really long game. But a lot of people are saying there's like a lot of downtime in cutscenes and dialogue and just actual directed cutscenes between the gameplay, which is the big turn off for me, because I'm just like, again, not just narratives, but it's like apparently like move story, like a lot of that.
I haven't really felt that as a bad thing. I think maybe that would be a problem if the voice acting wasn't so fucking top tier. Everyone from like the NPCs that you're walking past to like obviously all the main characters has been so well cast. Like, I cannot stop talking about the voice acting every time I hear someone speak. It's not just that they're a good actor, that their delivery is just so much light and shade and emotion, but also the audio production is fantastic. So the quality of the voice is, that's not something I normally notice, but I notice it in this. It's got that actor whose name I forget.
Another one you mean.
He's in Diablo at the Innocent. I want to say his name is like Ivan.
He's the dad in the Vitch.
He's the dad in the Vitch.
He's got that really deep British voice. Someone will know in the chat. Ralph
Innocent. Yeah.
He's got such a deep, like, booming voice. Although, does it match the character he's in? Because it is such an iconic voice.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine that voice coming out of anyone who doesn't look like they've had their nose broken or something like that. You know what I mean?
Hot voice.
So not really, but no one's voice really matches the character because everyone just looks so perfect.
Yeah.
But he voices the character that I'm the most in love with, and I think I was halfway through the stream last night when I was like, going on about this character, and then I sort of stopped and I was like, he kind of looks a bit like Peter. And I was like, which means I guess I have a type.
That's fair enough. He's Sid?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They've
What a
got
babe.
such like normal names.
There was a bit of like
Sid,
discussion around
Clive.
the names.
Yeah.
Clive, Sid.
Yeah. My favorite is Clive. There's Jill. And let's not forget Rodney.
Is there a Derek? Feels like there could be a Derek in there somewhere.
Maybe we'll come across a Derek.
Final Fantasy Derek.
But I'm really enjoying it. I think like as you said, I'm enjoying the fact that it's a linear story that I can follow, and I feel like this was kind of the right entry point into Final Fantasy outside of 14.
I'm with you, though, like-
after like a long kind of hiatus from dipping into this universe.
Also, there is just certain amounts of wacky that are in that universe that just doesn't appeal to me. That, like, I can see the sensibility of a kingdom and dragons and magic versus boy band in car with big swords.
So
Yeah.
I cannot endorse this tomfoolery.
I was just going to say silly. It's just silly. And ride on chickens. Why? What's that about?
Want more realism in my fantasy
I
games.
want simulators in my games.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
Which is what I did.
Who did we decide was next?
Me.
You. What have you been playing, guys?
Vibrating uncontrollably.
I'm going to talk about a game that I've talked about once before on the show, which is The Hunter Call of the Wild, which is a hunting simulator game, which if you told me that was a game I'd be into, I wouldn't have believed you. But it happened to be on Game Pass a couple of years ago. I picked it up. It's a long-running series, The Hunter, and there's a big diehard fan base on the internet who love it and who love the amount of detail that goes into it. I play it with a group of friends where we all jump on the same server, almost to no effect that we're in like thousands of square kilometers, miles away from each other. I'm like, why are we even doing this? But we all talk to each other while we play it. So we enjoy that, and we enjoy going to, the savannah of Africa, going to the deer-infested areas of America. I don't know, the mid-northwest. West. Anyway, that's years ago. Like, the game's been out for a long time, and we've just recycled some of the old DLC that's been out. And then the other day, I see in my feed a trailer for an update to the game, and I thought we could have a quick watch of that right now. Tell me what you think of this. So we need the sound.
Yeah.
G'day, and welcome to the east coast of Australia.
Oh my god.
Hey,
Or
mate.
as I like to call it, heaven on earth.
I legit thought that this was a parody you guys had done.
I thought this was a
This
joke.
region hosts plenty of beautiful wildlife.
Shoot it!
Uniquely adapted to our ecosystem.
But you got to listen to how they
including
justify.
some species you just can't find anywhere else.
Here on the Emerald Coast, you're likely to see all kinds of wildlife.
You meet these
From
characters.
saltwater crocodiles
I
on
think we
our
do.
tropical beaches, magpie geese in the mangrove forests,
Oh my god.
wandering bantang grazing the fields,
Introduced.
or kangaroos lounging in the arid outback.
They're so
Now
cute.
shoot
Oh
them.
no, it looks so happy.
Unfortunately,
It did a little
there's
stretch.
no shortage of invasive plants and animals in these parts too.
We've got to help
The
the
Europeans
biodiversity.
introduced everything from goats to pigs,
Amazing.
all of which are now feral.
No
Not
emu.
to mention the numerous
Now
types of deer
feral.
that cause havoc here.
We have a responsibility to care for this land.
Oh,
I've
okay.
learned
You're
if you
actually
don't
helping
treat it
out.
with respect, it will bite you back. But if you take your time and get to know
thought they were going to say,
the
but they have guns as
Don't
well.
you dare.
it will be a place you never forget.
Oh,
So,
What
yeah.
the hell?
That's
Well.
wild.
I feel
What are
dirty
you waiting
watching
for?
this.
Yeah.
Ready to get started?
It's a good-looking game.
We're
Yes.
stoked
It's real
to
pretty.
show
Can't
you
wait to
around.
Someone-
splatter the brain matter of these
Emerald
beautiful
Coast.
creatures.
I want like a Planet
Oh
Zoo
my
thing like this.
God.
Not like
Right?
That is fucking
So
bold.
apparently it's the most
Holy
requested thing in the
shit.
community of this game to do
Wow.
an Australian map and have Australian animals on it. And yeah, as you pointed out, there's this kind of soft poetic justification for we have a responsibility to clean up the biodiversity or like to make sure its biodiversity is maintained. So here's a segment I like to call
no, what?
Guys, why?
Oh. Wait, did the roof
Gus
shoot
has gone
you,
hunting
or-
with friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I jumped into this with my mates and we got the DLC and we have been running around the Emerald Coast of Australia,
Cool, man.
having a great old time.
Just decking the local wildlife.
So realistically, like what it is a
love
new
that.
map and those new animals, but it's the same gameplay, the same system. But there is this like in-depth story of like you hear all these voices on the radio who are like, "Welcome, come and meet me at my shed. Now you'll head out to this area, thin out some of those eastern grey kangaroos. Now head over here." And then another person gets on the radio and is like, "You're probably talking to Bazza. He's my neighbor. We almost hooked up once." And I was like, "What's going on?" There's this full story of
They're
characters.
putting narrative in your
They
shooting
put narrative in
games.
my shooting game, in my hunting game. So I think for anyone who enjoys that element, it's not us. There is that game, but beyond that, this is just a playground to run around and muck around. And we've been having a really fun time doing it because I will give it credit. It does this series does an amazing job at.
Bambi!
This is horrific.
Look, I probably should say up front. Again, I've never really been hunting. I don't endorse cruelty or unnecessary hunting of animals.
Well, you have a responsibility.
Responsibility.
They're an invasive species.
But
a
little part of me, every time Australia is included in a video game in any capacity, I'm always fascinated to see how well they've done it, how accurately they've done it. And outside of the animals, this one gets away, guys. It's so
Look at the flowers.
They have an amazing engine that runs for this game. And it looks stunning. We're currently in a hide, and it's feeding time, so that's when the Rue's headed over. But we missed these ones. The actual hunting and killing of the animals is kind of complex. It's a simulator. Like, you almost, unless you're in a hide, you will never see an animal if you just run in this game.
Yeah, cool.
I think I mentioned that the first time I played this, but animals will spawn on the draw distance of the game, and if you're running at the normal speed, they'll be gone before you even see them. So the game tries to promote being in the right areas, being upwind of them, and working as a team. So that's kind of the enjoyment we got. Josh, if you scrub a little further forward, this is some of my mates trying to... Again, we will never go hunting in real life, so I think just part of us were enjoying the chaos that ensues as we run around, going, oh, there's a Roo over here, there's a salty, oh, Jesus. The Roos attack you and can down you.
It's so sad that this is the most beautiful Australia has ever been in a video game, and this is the game that it's like
Slender Man.
Question for you.
I'm sorry?
Gus,
no.
do the Roos.
Oh, he flopped.
Oh, no, the way it hits the ground.
It's like a GTA body.
It didn't even have a dignified... Okay, but can the
He was
Roos
only a
punch
silver
you?
too.
If you approach the Roo, will it deck you?
Yes.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So here's the thing. The way Skippy, no.
What's wrong with Skippy?
The thing
Gus
they
is stuck in a well?
The thing they've done in this is that Australian animals will attack and will charge you, and so it was self-defense. Yeah, I don't know why my friends and I are enjoying this, but we just enjoyed that. These maps are hundreds of square kilometers.
The
they
gum
are
trees
massive.
are amazing. It's almost weird.
Josh, a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's almost weird to see the
we go.
vegetation. I've never seen the vegetation of
Yeah.
our landscape represented in a video game like
I'd say
this.
outside of like
It's
Forza,
almost trippy. Like it is weird.
I'd say outside of Forza 3,
Oh no.
I let this one
Yes.
go.
He's coming for you.
Kicking room.
Fuck him up.
He deserves it.
So again, a lot of people have been really
Get
excited
him, Jack.
to see Roos included, and
Smack him in the face.
yeah, look, again, I think kangaroos are beautiful. I'd never shoot one in real life. I know there's a whole thing about like they're in plague proportion due to, but that's due to farming. That's not due to them. So again, I'm not really in it because I enjoyed the hunting. There's heaps of other maps with there's heaps of deer, there's heaps of feral pigs, and if you scrub a little further forward for me, Josh, thanks, you'll see we went to the mangroves and went looking for salties, which do attack you as well. And a little part of me, the part of me that loves Death Stranding and games like that, just enjoys that me and a couple of friends have to slow walk through really interesting, really dense, beautiful environments, looking at it really intently for the things we're hunting. And
it's
as a
stunning.
gameplay experience, it's very different from every other game
It's like
I play.
the color palette as well. You don't normally see that specific color palette in
The
video
sky.
games.
Yeah,
And
so
the green as well. It's that really kind of
Muted
dusty,
kind of,
muted green, not that,
Eucalypt,
European forest green.
Yeah.
So look, I don't know how long we'll keep jumping into it. And as I said, this was tough to organize my mates to hang out as a group together because often we just get distracted and we're kilometers away from each other. We're all on comms, and as you in a group session, you'll see when someone kills a creature in the corner. So it's like, oh, someone got a kangaroo miles away. Someone got a deer over there. So we just sort of use it as a way to hang out and talk and just enjoy it in the meantime. But if, Josh, you just scrub a tiny little bit further forward, you will see that like when we're hunting crocs, they do attack back. And there's a moment just here where we took out a croc that I've gone to pick up the body of.
Oh, that thing's freaking
And then
huge.
suddenly my friend behind me
He was like, that was my son.
gets taken
the
down.
speed on that bad boy.
So there are some really funny moments, including the fact that the game is so janky.
Circle of life.
That it's like the character models, the
still
UI.
there.
The leaf litter in the water. Oh my
beautiful,
God.
even in death. Now that's the face of true peace.
His eyes are moving.
Kill me, kill me.
End it.
The gameplay systems themselves are really sluggish and clunky, but I think that's always been part of these games to try and simulate like that it's not a quick twitch-based shooter. You do have stamina. Your weapons take forever to load the ammo. It's weird. I like intricacies that like unnecessary laborious intricacies in my video games.
Is it a realism thing for you?
Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, look, I wouldn't recommend this as like, if anyone sees this and thinks, you know, this does not appeal to them in the slightest, I don't think you're going to find the fun in it. But I don't know. There's a reason people play Power Wash Simulator. Like, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Like,
It's true. I think my issue with it is, and this is not anything on you because I totally get why you're playing this, and I get the experience with your friends and stuff. I think the issue I have, because again, it's hypocritical. I kill animals in video games all the time.
You kill people in video games.
And, well, yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
But like, I think because people enjoy hunting in real life.
I totally agree.
You know what I mean? Like,
People who really
no one
enjoy
I know who shoots people in video games wants to go out and shoot people in real life. Do you know what I mean? It feels like a very different thing.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like this game is directly trying to appeal to people who enjoy real life hunting, and it's kind of feeding back into that. That's kind of where my mind sits
I know what you
with
mean,
it.
and that makes you feel a little dirty afterwards as well. None of us have now sat down and been like, we should go hunting together. And like, the appeal is not there.
To go hunt down
The appeal is not there. But again, sometimes I just look at games and think, how have they built a game around that? And I want to experience that. And again, just the fact that they went hard on the Australia angle, I was like, I just have to see what this is like.
Yeah, it's nice to see Australia represented like in such a pretty but also realistic way.
Yeah. And again, there is a campaign there that you can go and try and explore the relationships between Gaza and Shazza, who live in different huts.
Deep intricacies of these hunters and their lives.
Exactly.
You know what?
And some of the detail in there feels unnecessary in certain areries. You're like, why did they go to this much detail? But
realism.
as I said, I have a responsibility.
And
that's why I'm going to play this card one more time, because it'll never get playtime again. Because Gus went shooting with friends.
Oh God.
Hunting with friends. Gus went hunting with friends.
The important question.
Just fear for Skippy.
Oh,
I was like,
don't worry,
where
Skippy's
does the
fine.
card end?
The important question that Lucretia asks is, can we romance Bazza, yes or no?
I need to go further in the campaign to work out if they do end up hooking up again.
You just have to ask him like this, hey, you going hunting? And then you'll go, yeah.
Be safe out there. What was your name again? Bazza.
Dominator Bazza.
Dominator Baz.
That's it.
Baz the Dom.
Baz the Dom.
That's him.
Baz the Dom.
Get it in the game. Come on. We got to get this into the hunting game. Baz the Dom.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing, and I'm not going to apologize for it.
No, good.
Cool. Will?
I want to apologize for saying that I like the new Indiana Jones movie. You can't say any of this. It's my moment.
I'm not going to say anything.
It's my
publicly.
moment.
It's your moment. Enjoy
Huge.
this.
Leave it. I took it from him.
He's too old. He belongs in a museum.
Oh my god. I like the old video game, 20 years old, 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, or as I have called it repeatedly, Indiana Jones and the Templar's Doom.
It's catching on. It's catching on.
It's close enough. It is a game from my childhood, which I remember playing this first level like 6 times, getting up to the exact same place and being like, I'm too afraid of this crocodile and I can't get this thing done, and I left it. And it's one of those beautiful like childhood games that I came back to 10 years later
Was
and
this
was
a
like,
demo you had potentially?
no, I just had the
you had
game,
the full game.
and I just kept getting up to places
Yep.
and not continuing it. It's in the style of like old Tomb Raider games and stuff like that. Like, and it is just pure indie joy. Like, this is the first 2 minutes. You jump down and it's like, there's a waterfall. There might be an artifact in there, and it's like, oh yeah, let's go. So straight away, it's. I mean, the DNA of Uncharted 1 is like so strong in this. Like there is so much about this game. I mean, this is
This like one animation.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar.
This was and is the best Indiana Jones game that exists out
Totally.
there.
And
'Cause you can
Nathan
fill up a
Drake
campaign.
is effectively
an indie
an
pastiche.
indie, yeah.
Absolutely.
You just saw my favorite feature. Well, one of the 2 best features in the video game. That his health is controlled by his canteen, which you'll need to fill up throughout the game, which is wonderful. The other feature I hope we see through capture, but it's funny. The longer I was playing this, the more features popped up that I was like, I feel like in recent years we've been celebrating games for like you can pick up a chair and use that as a weapon. And I feel like Uncharted, it was a big deal. I'm like, we did it here. Like, there's so many things about this that feels like a modern game, which are really, really cool. It's kind of location based. So I can't remember where we are, but this place has a few different chapters that you can jump back and forth through, and that's kind of the progression throughout the game. the combat is the best part of this game.
Man, those thwacks.
It's so fun.
When did this come out?
2003.
And has it been like
It's on
mastered or in
no,
any way?
Totally. Like this is running just on. This is on GOG. It's also on Steam.
It looks good.
Yeah, it plays well.
Yeah.
You cannot alt tab out, or the game will crash. But apart from that,
It's a feature, not a bug.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible. Like you've obviously got his whip. The whip, if you kind of like hold down, it can whip around an enemy. It'll either whip around the neck and pull them towards you, or it'll
a
whip
big
out,
kiss.
or a big kiss, big kiss at the end of the Emperor's Doom.
Yeah.
Or it'll pull out the weapon that's in their hand. Like there's so many little intricacies of the brawler. Like and yeah, it runs beautifully.
It's just like the animations. I just don't remember the animations being this good at that
super
time.
sharp.
Yeah.
Like the grapples are so fun.
Yeah.
I played this to completion on original Xbox,
Yeah.
and I remember being even surprised back then how this felt like. Yeah, it controlled better than Tomb Raiders at the time.
Yeah.
Of course, we hadn't had Uncharted
Gotcha.
out at that point, but it
Yeah.
was close to coming out, or the first one.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just to do it with this property.
So I got stuck.
No one will see me here.
But I
little
like
bits
you
of
got,
joke, yeah.
into the bushes.
I like you got very scared at that first level because it does have the giant croc.
The infamous. We'll stay here, Josh, because the best feature of the game is coming up. But yeah, the infamous croc.
And you said you were going to play this just a little bit because you wanted to get back into it.
Yeah,
You liar.
and I'm going to finish it.
Oh, you haven't already?
I got up to this second section, and it is hooked me back in. There's no story in these old games. I don't know what's happening, but it's just there. It's so satisfying and has such a the combat is so. What I hope will be happening here is I will lose my hat. And one of the features that people gave so much love. It's a brilliant game, Red Dead Redemption. People were like, "Whoa, you could fall off a horse and then your hat falls. You got to go pick up your hat."
Yeah.
Indy did it, 2003.
You're like, mate, look at that hat.
Wow.
And
And that would have been one person's job just working on that hat
The one,
situation.
Remind me, if you finish a mission, you can continue on without your hat.
Yes,
you can
yeah.
keep
And
going.
I think it probably comes back next mission or
I
something.
think so too, but I like you.
So
I think
we're hatless now.
you're hatless. I like
no.
you.
Yeah.
Always went back to get your hat.
Have to.
You have to.
Because it also has this wonderful. Once we get rid of this German, this Nazi man.
This Nazi man.
Yeah.
It's a Nazi man.
Yeah. this
Nasty man.
The combat is so much, and I definitely didn't pay attention to it as much as a kid. I'm finding new animations that I was playing a section where I punched a guy and he grabbed my fist, and it was that moment of here we go. It was the hat moment. I'm sorry.
I guess what's wonderful about this is it's an original adventure. It's not a tie-in to any property, but it is the game you want to play when you're either looking forward to the movie or you've just been watching the movies and you want that fantasy fulfillment in a video game sense. Because often a movie tie-in game, as we know, not too crash hot, but the ability to go and play a character-driven one based on an IP that you're either in the middle of enjoying or looking forward to, this is that game.
Yeah.
It's really interesting just looking at it. There's a weird elasticity to the movement that I haven't seen in such a long. Everything feels so much more subdued now in combat. This feels very cartoony and expressive.
It's very Indiana
I love
Jones
it.
because that's his combat is so over the top.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford
It's messy, it's
doesn't know.
scruffy.
Yeah, it's just there's always these huge punches.
But
Yeah.
it's conveyed so well through the stretch and the way the body.
That's true.
It's
It's almost a bit Nintendo in the way that his
Yeah.
arms whir up. And,
It's kind of hypnotic.
Yeah.
It's dreamlike.
Because it's almost like the step before this was everything was quite janky, and then
Yeah.
and this is kind of the bridging between that kind of level of fidelity of movement and everything's kind of just being a bit robotic.
There's a game, is it Infernal Machine is the one before?
Yeah.
Which is a 3D action game, but it is down one generation, and I would argue it's unplayable.
I've tried to
because
jump
I
in.
wanted to play another indie game as well before seeing this film, and I was like, I never played that one. And I looked up, I think it's a PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
it is just this is the right generation. Well, not the right, but the one that it works in.
Yeah.
That one is big blocky indie.
It's
Tomb Raider 1
Yeah.
engine,
Right.
but with Indiana
Look at
Jones.
this fun little, and there's so much creativity in the fights. There's a ledge. So what am I going to do? I'm going to punch the dude off the ledge.
Oh, the flip that he does.
The full body flip really is an undervalued animation
There's a
in modern
balcony.
games.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna fall.
It totally just embraces indie, and you're so right. If you're looking for something else to play, there's some jank in there. I couldn't get my controller to work. I'm playing it's mouse and keyboard, but
Right.
I kind of got used to where all the buttons were by the end of it.
That was the font of the 90s too, isn't it? It's 2003, but still.
And other things the UI, you scroll through the bottom
Yeah.
and it's rotating whip, rotating pistol.
It's very fun.
We've worked out ways to do it better, radial menus, all that kind of stuff. But I'd say this just hangs on as a game
Totally.
that just doesn't feel too old to play.
Yeah.
It's still,
Yeah,
I mean, you're
definitely.
playing it
There's
now.
there's little moments like when the whip is on screen, you press a button, that'll be the thing that comes out as well. Like
Yeah,
just
okay.
things that
Yes.
modern games consider.
Are we
and
still getting the Bethesda indie game, or is that
through the FTC thing? There was a discussion about the indie game, so I think it is. Like
Okay.
it's still.
But maybe it's a bit more narrative heavy. How can you make an indie game that's not pure action?
You know, I mean, Machine Game is Wolfenstein. so
Once
it's like-
again, get the narratives out of my video game.
saying
I
that-
love the like gun flashes every time he connects his fist with someone's face. It's
Yeah.
like
What is-
Pow.
Look at that
pow,
little
yeah.
moment. How fun's that?
Yeah.
They don't happen
sick.
when people hit indie. It's only when indie hits people.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
flashes. That's funny.
He's like letting
Yeah.
a firecracker go as he's doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's
Look
this
at
thing.
them.
Now we get to watch you be double excited both here and in a little box.
Hopefully, I'm excited. This is me throwing a man off a waterfall. Eventually, here we go.
Look at the joy in your little face.
In your little. Also,
Oh my gosh, double
Gwen
KO.
Stacy right behind you as well. Deeply unsettling.
Come on, buddy. Here we go.
So you've been streaming this?
Only that one time.
Okay, right.
I do want to. I'm gonna complete it on stream because I'm excited to be. There's sequences that I vaguely remember. I'm excited to come across. Like I got up to the second level and saw like the sweeping shot of the castle, and on stream I'm just like, oh, yes, I remember this bit. I'm gonna remember. So yeah,
great.
I'm keen to keep playing for sure.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's the moment of satisfaction of his face, just being like, I'm so happy I played that.
Classic Wilbur energy.
That was what we've been playing. Oxenfree II.
Yeah.
Hunting game.
The Hunter Called the Wild. Emerald Coast DLC. Do your part. Go clear some biodiversity.
It's your responsibility.
Pow.
Final Fantasy 16 and Indiana Jones
And the
and
Emperor's
the
Tomb.
and the
Temperor's
something
Doom.
Doom.
Yeah.
Doom Temple.
The Doom Temple. Yeah. We'll be right back after this break. Think a conditioner can't improve the health of your hair? Think again. Meet the La Frenais Hair Rejuvenation Cream by SuperStudios. This powerful new formula will make your locks thick and strong like the hind flanks of a majestic bison. And bison have good hair. Mega Watt Shine. Impossibly strong. Just one wash will instantly double the girth of each strand of your hair. Yeah, I said girth, because you want people to think of your hair as girthy. That's the La Frenais effect. Still need more volume? Apply our Comb Through Activating Powder. It's packed full of hydrocuticle, peptide crystal, marine mineral, mushroom, milk extract. And of course bison, for the girth. Because you deserve the thickest of the thick. Live your most luscious life with La Frenais. Like Michael J. Fox and Teen Wolf, you're ready for a night on the town with the girls with the application of the La Frenais Mega Nourish Finishing Oil. Now you can finally attain your ultimate fursona, all hair. Say goodbye to thin, timid tresses and usher in a new Yeti you.
Snorkel?
The La Frenais Hair Range by SuperStudios. It will happen overnight, so prepare yourself. Ranking Final Fantasy Chocobos out of 10. Final Fantasy 16 Chocobo may as well start here because he's giving new, shiny, high def, expansive. Look at the detail in that plumage. 9 out of 10. Final Fantasy 4 Fat Chocobo. I may be an insolent fool, but is this the bird of the gods? I don't know. His eyes kind of freak me out. Not my fave. 4 out of 10. Chocobo Racing Chocobo. It's like this bird can already move super fast. Why don't we put rollerblades on it? Inspired. 7 out of 10. Mystery Dungeon Everybody Chocobo. Fashion game for this one's on point. 8 out of 10. Final Fantasy 7 Chocobo. The face of a weird gambling bird breeding minigame. I don't vibe with it, man. 2 out of 10. The golden chocobo isn't worth it. Re-examine your life choices. Bocco from Final Fantasy V. Just as early man formed a relationship with wolf, so did Bart's become one with Bocco, forever changing the hero chocobo relationship. 9 out of 10. And finally, the Final Fantasy XIV Chocobo Mount, the greatest creature ever designed in a video game. Perfect. Rotund. He's chasing a little treat in a string because he can't get enough of those geese greens. I love his pudgy little face. Perfect. No notes. 10 out of 10.
Welcome back, everyone, to Back Pocket, and thank you to our sponsors who got behind us and sent in some words from our sponsors. We saw one there from Amir and one from AllSyntaxErrors. Thank you for those. And we also saw a new commercial there.
Yes.
New ad for SuperStudios and their wonderful hair care range, which is made from bison, I think.
Yep.
For the girth.
For the girth.
Yes, of course.
Yes. So thank you so much. Of course, if you come in at a patron at that level, we will make you an ad that will include a product of our choosing. So I'm sorry, Super Studios, for choosing to make you a wonderful hair care range, but also you're welcome. We'll add somewhere in between there. All right, it's time to move on with the show. As I mentioned, we thought we'd do a little callback tonight to some of our old segment stylings because we realized that tonight everyone sitting on these couches here in the wide shot has at one point or another sat at a desk, answered questions, and done it with way too much enthusiasm.
You mean this isn't normal? What are you talking about?
This isn't normal. We've all at one point been kids' TV hosts.
That's true.
Answering the questions of many a child. And so we thought we'd just rip that off tonight in a segment we're calling Ask BP.
Oh, wow.
Incredible.
Are you skirting dangerously close to copyright infringement?
I slowed down the sound. It's fine.
I'm seeing the laser dots just coming in.
Bring it on. Bring it on. I don't mind. Yes, we are doing a segment now.
Didn't you made all those though as well,
Yes,
didn't you?
most of them as well.
So really it's just your own work.
This is a Zuckerberg Threads versus Twitter argument where it's like we employed them, but it's just they just know those things.
I wish them the best, but also if they use any of my stuff, I swear to God.
Can I sue myself? Potentially. Ask Back Pocket is a new segment, and it is brought to us by our patron sponsor, MiddleCee.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that different?
Oh, that wasn't
Sorry, we're getting new ones. Was that Scooby laughing? Oh my god!
Oh, that was so good, Will.
It throws us too much. Thank you, MiddleCee, for sponsoring.
It was just me earlier.
And as usual, when we have MiddleCee sponsor a segment, we like to read out lyrics of a song in the C of key. Yep, nailed it. And so I picked some lyrics here tonight from a song. It is in the key of C. I'm going to read them out. Buzz in whenever you feel like you might know what the song is. I think it's a fairly obvious one, but I just thought I'd go easy on us tonight because Pete's not here to ruin it. So here are the lyrics as followed. Now the only thing a gambling man needs is a suitcase, Lord, and a trunk.
I'll let you.
Beep. House of the Rising Sun.
It is House of the Rising Sun. Well done, my animals.
I know things. I'm not a song person, so
Really?
that's about as far as we're going to get with me tonight.
Is it in the key of C?
Maybe Jeremy Renner's version is.
Jeremy Renner's
good.
version of that?
It's fucking good.
Oh.
It's like soul, it's pretty cool.
Dude,
Is he actually a good singer?
Yeah.
He seems like he would have a good singing
He's
voice.
got a good soul, it's really cool.
I guess that makes sense. The only reason I know that song is because Ashley Johnson sung a version of it. And I was obsessed with her for a little while there. So
that's
there
fair.
you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, good on you for knowing that song, but how?
But good on you for having
It ties into my my interest.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this ties into your interests as well. Thank you, of course, to MiddleCee. What we're going to do for Ask Back Pocket is we have set up a Ask Back Pocket desk. And what we're going to do is take it in turns to go up in pairs. And we're going to sit at that desk. You are going to then be asked a real question that has been asked to you in that combo before. And you are going to, first of all, have to read out the letter. So for anyone who knows us from our previous works will know that we have to do it in a particular style. And then you're going to get a little bit of time on the clock to do your best response in the energy level that we're used to doing. And I want to see as many as many of the old stylings that we used to do. See if you can answer the question as well. As we know, and as we should probably put out there as well, it was a team of people working to help us answer a lot of these. And it was a lot of the time us reading them, knowing some of them.
Mostly GOG.
Mostly GOG.
And
so
now,
in terms
mostly Dana.
Well, there you go. And
Queen
Dana
of
as well. So
puns.
the knowledge that we do no longer have to impart on the people, that is what we're asking you to make up.
Which is why there were a lot of heartbroken kids when they were asking us very complex Minecraft questions at conventions. And we'd be like,
You know what?
let me just sit on that one for a second and I'll come back to you.
My weakness was Pokemon. I'm not a Pokemon person.
Well, we're going to find out
And
because...
Yeah.
Well, what I'll get you
Get
guys to do
humbled.
is why don't, first of all, because you two at one point were on GGSP together. And then there's a couple of combos that have never existed before. I'm going to go up in those combos and we've got some questions that may never have been asked. We're just going to wing it. Okay. Not quite sure how this will work. Jem will head on over to the Ask Back Pocket desk.
Nice.
Oh, dear. Well, we did have to quickly put this together at the last minute, realizing that we've never had a desk set up in the office as well. I think we've done a pretty good job. Let's head over there now and see how they're doing.
I love the desk has even got like the right level of shitness when it comes to the props on the table. It was like whatever we could find, it was just junk.
If I touch a single thing, the whole thing's going to collapse.
Usually if you move the phone,
I'm home.
Yep.
you're done.
Phones are as well.
Don't touch it.
You're just missing a laptop that has a noob sign on.
Yeah, we're going
With
to do
no
this one.
keys on it.
And
No keys at the same time. We'll get a little background music at one point, Josh. But when you guys are ready, I need you guys to give it a little bit of the energy that you recall from back in the day, or Jem from this week.
From 2 days ago.
From 2 days ago. And then you're going to get a little question up there and take it in turns. Give us your most natural kids TV host energy.
The chuckle at the beginning,
Yeah,
like you
all
just
of that.
had a big hearty laugh.
Take it away, guys.
Hello, welcome to the Ask SP desk.
BP, back pocket, don't get sued.
To ask BP.
Muscle memory,
There we
muscle
go.
memory.
I'm Jem.
I'm Will.
And we're here to answer your questions. Starting off with this one from... Queen of Dragons from Canberra in Victoria. Hi, GGSP. This is the Queen of Dragons speaking. I have 2 questions for you to answer. Is there...
Come on now, you've done this more
Oh,
recently.
sorry.
Yeah.
Answer. Is there dragon games on Xbox 360? What is your favorite character in Spyro? If you do not answer these questions, I will send my dragons to take over GGSP and turn all you all into dragons. But no hard feelings.
Now,
Excellent.
Dragon games on the Xbox 360. Now, I'm not too familiar with Dragon games on the Xbox 360, but I do believe that maybe one of the Spyros made it over there. I think maybe the Twin Sanities or something like that.
Indeed, and
Yeah.
I dare say, I believe Disney Infinity has dragons in it.
That's true.
As well as insert title here of game. Also, Skylanders.
Skylanders.
Also, Skylanders is available that does feature dragons as many of its main characters.
That's very true.
Ring, 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 ring.
Is the phone?
Hello?
Hello. I think you'll find that there was the Spyro games were remastered for the I've just realised I can't do a bloody robot at the same time.
It's like being at home.
Were remixed for the latest Xbox. Have you played those?
Yeah.
Totally. Moving to your second question now,
all I
what
had.
our favourite character is in Spyro, I assume you mean Spyro. And I would say, because I
good,
can't think of any other
correct
characters, mine's Spyro, the little purple dragon.
That's very good. My one's the old granddad that's like riding in the thing, and he's like one of the first ones that we meet, and he's like, and other
Fun
noises.
fact, Will also voiced that dragon apparently. But thank you so much for your question. I hope we've avoided turning into dragons.
Fair enough. Well done.
Well done.
Can we see? Is there the actual tape now of you guys responding to that question?
I definitely didn't answer this one.
No.
Really?
Yeah, that's not me.
Did we get these wrong?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's find out, Jem.
Oh, I'm gonna be humbled so bad if I have actually answered this before.
If you nail it,
Yeah.
there'll be some kind of point system.
If I
I'm
nail
sure.
it, I'm asking for a race.
This is the Queen of Dragons.
Oh my gosh, it is me!
That's your voice. That is your voice.
What is their dragon games on Xbox 360? 2, what is your favorite character in Spyro?
You nailed this bit.
So funny.
I will send my dragons to take over GGSP and turn you all into dragons.
Wow, I've never had an original thought. Oh, that's
we didn't do our dragons.
We didn't.
I remember now.
You have such short
I
hair.
remember now. How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Spyro Dawn of the Dragon.
You got Spyro?
Got a Spyro game in there.
Some dragon games on Xbox
God, look at
360.
your hair.
Do my eyebrow waggle.
Spyro. I'd say probably my favorite character from
What
the
do you like?
Spyro the Dragon series is probably the Purple Prince Spyro.
You know why? Because I couldn't think of another one.
Amazing.
Who played Frodo Baggins?
That's
It's pretty
amazing.
cool, but my favorite is probably Bentley the Yeti. He's got a Yeti, or maybe Sheila the Kangaroo. I like playing as those.
I didn't know those were characters.
No.
I do not remember Kangaroo and Spyro.
Oh yeah, mate, too right.
Oh yeah, they too right.
Still sound like that. We have the Ask SP today.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Jenny
well
nailed that.
What a blast from the past. She hasn't changed much. She just has longer hair now,
Yeah.
a different shade of red.
That's true. All right, you can head on back.
All right.
I didn't realize how much of a time capsule this is going to be. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, you guys are little babies.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved seeing you guys together on the desk. It looked great.
Now,
I think back to how many hairstyles I have had since I started. It's terrifying, but also like that's how I date things now. Is what hair I had at the time.
this is only the
Yeah.
second one I've had since I was born. So,
It's long or it's short.
yeah.
But
yeah.
I it's a time marker for me. So anytime I try to think back, when was that? I'm like, well, my hair was red.
Yeah.
So it would have been 2014.
Well, Steph, shall we? I'll see you with the Ask SP desk.
Push them over there.
Time to pay the piper.
Off they go. Off they go. Remember when we watched them?
I was so certain that wasn't a thing I'd ever answered before. I said it with such confidence.
You did. You
And
did.
I was a liar.
No, but you still nailed it. You still nailed
Thank you.
it.
You never lose it, mate. You never lose it.
No. Isn't this funny?
You just get more jaded.
This reminds me of work experience.
God.
Oh, I'm having flashbacks.
I'm so old and wrinkly at it. All right.
Oh.
Well, hi, Steph.
This is weird.
This doesn't feel right anymore.
It's like Bizarro Land.
It is.
I remember too, you said the laptop had no keys on it. That's because it was a running gag that Barjo would like just destroy it somehow.
We always used to. Is it real? That's real? Okay, I was just going to do the we'd always start with these ones.
Yeah.
Well. All right, Hex, well, it looks like there's a couple of questions that have come in from the Ask SP desk. Let's have a quick read.
You did it.
He's got it.
You did ask
Go for it.
This one's from the Origami Gamer 145 from Orange, New South Wales. Hi there, GGSP. I came to ask if there are any origami games on PlayStation, Wii, Nintendo DS, or Xbox. Please respond. P.S. Darren, do these.
Oh.
Someone's got to do Darren.
Sure.
Pete's on it.
Take it away.
PSS. Thanks for answering this question. PSSS. I love Minecraft. If you can, GGSP, do a Minecraft episode next time. Thanks.
What's the
We cut to it? Oh shit, yeah, no one answered. So, I'm like,
wow.
this is where the answer would be written for us. My where's the answer?
No script now.
Okay, wow. The Origami Gamer, thank you so much for sending in your question. To answer that, I would love to say that there are origami games on the DS, and I'd love to point you to a fun game called Paper
Mario.
Please.
which is on the
Nintendo
thing
as well.
One of them. And
Be fun,
you know
Gus.
what? There's a little thing called Google, so maybe you can look it up.
Smile more, Gus. Smile more.
Yeah, and if you're into papercraft games, you could check out something like, I don't know, Katamari Reroll. That's kind of in the papercraft genre.
You're on speed. That's crazy. You were never that jerky.
Wasn't I? Fine. Okay, or maybe there was that one that was a dog that had a paintbrush in its mouth. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, and then there was
one.
also the one that was made by the Media Molecule people, which I think came later and is probably much after this, but you know what? I can see into the future.
I think the game you're thinking of is called Tearaway.
Tearaway, yes. And I think that was on the Vita, which is a console.
It's a handheld PlayStation console.
Was before or after this person's question, I'm not sure. There's a bunch of games there that involve origami that I think you'll really enjoy, and you should check them out.
Also, have you heard of Minecraft? Go play that. You're all playing that. Just do more of that.
Sure.
Yeah. Roll the tape. This is hard without answers.
It is.
GGSP.
Oh, fuck, it was
I
me.
came to ask if there are any origami games.
Your voice
on
is the same
any
too.
PlayStation, Wii, Nintendo DS.
Rarely have done this together, you and I.
No, that's true. This would have been just like Barbara's Crook.
Darren, do these.
Yeah. Or at E3, maybe.
We did the phone thing.
Oh.
Not bad, Darren. For answering this question, PSSS.
Oh God, what do we look like?
Minecraft. If you can, GGSP.
My hair is
do a Minecraft episode
red.
next time.
Black.
Thanks. Well, there aren't any
Oh,
games
recent.
specifically
Oh, we look
based on
normal.
origami that I can think of, but there's
Yeah, this would have been like 2016 or
the first that comes to
2015.
mind would be Tearaway, which
Hey.
is a great creative platformer, and it's all set in a
Nice.
papery world, and you can get that on PS4 and Vita.
Yeah. Oh, there's also Derek the Death Fin, which is a sort of papercraft 2D action game for PS3.
That looks amazing.
I played
Plus,
that.
there's all those Paper Mario
Hey.
games too, which can be
Yeah,
found
yeah,
on pretty
yeah.
much all recent Nintendo consoles.
Yeah, but maybe there's some that have slipped our minds, so if you spawnlings know of any origami games, feel free to write in with some suggestions. But on that note, we're actually out of time for this week, so if you'd like to ask us a question, then
I'm
you can
kinda
do that
jerky.
and send it in.
Well, then, shall we boogie back to the studio?
Go do it.
There it is, dance party! Man, if I'd watched that version growing up with
Yeah.
all swearing, I think I'd be a different person.
Wow, Tearaway. That's what it was
Tearaway.
called. Because I remember it had a touchpad that
on
was
the
on
back.
the back.
Yeah.
So you kind of were like using the touch screen and the touchpad on the back. It was
And you'd
quite
poke your
wild.
finger against it,
Yeah.
and a finger would come into the game.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh, like
It
a
was
core
sick.
memory was just unlocked in my brain.
Yeah, it was probably the best utilization of that console ever.
Yeah,
and
right.
It was really awesome. It was just a shame that the Vita kind of died.
There's only one more pairing, I believe.
There's only one more video.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because then you pass where you've actually
Yep.
paired on the show.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Jem,
Hello.
shall we?
We shall. Oh,
do
we're
it.
doing it. We're going back.
Of course, it didn't occur to me that you guys worked together for
Yeah.
ages. Yeah.
Yep.
And you would, without fail, come in and pull my chair physically back from the screen.
You get square eyes.
And be like, you gotta get square eyes. You gotta protect your eyes, Jim.
I was saying, well, I told you I was a bit of a buzzkill when I was there.
You're a dad.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So a couple of years later, energy's a bit down. Yours
Yep.
is up.
I'm
a bit
new.
jaded.
I'm fresh.
You're new and
It's
jaded.
my first year. I'm eager to please.
Jem,
Hi,
we're-
guys.
Hi, we're back at the AskSP desk, and we're excited to be here, Jem, aren't we?
So excited. We should go to our first question though, and this one was sent to us
From OJ, oh shit. OJ, the king of portals in Melbourne, Victoria. Hello, GGSP. I have some questions. Number one, are there any newer games like Mod Nation Races? Can we go in? Are there any more games like Mod Nation Races on the PS4? Number two, did you ever review Portal 2? If so, what was its score? If not, can you do a mini review? And last, Jem, say these. Nailed it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
That's great.
What are the questions? Mod Nation
Yeah,
Races on
new
the
game.
PS4. Yeah, go for it.
Thanks so much, the OJ King of Portals. As to your first question about whether there are any new Mod Nation games, I don't believe so. But Gus, maybe you have thoughts on that.
Oh, fuck off. That's not how this works.
Are you sure? It feels like it was.
Ring.
Oh, fuck.
Hey,
Hello?
Gus, do you know what's going on?
No fucking clue. I'm old, I'm jaded, I want out of this job.
Okay.
Wow.
No, that's not how it happened. Well, if you're looking for a kart racer on whatever system it was you said, there's tons. There's a whole heap. There's Sonic All-Star Racing, and maybe there's just the classic Mario Kart games. You can't go wrong with them. As for the second question, Jem.
Yes, we have reviewed Portal 2.
Oh, shit.
Previously on the show. Barjo and you may have done that. I don't remember. You can check that out in our online archive if you want to find out more.
Here.
Yeah, right there. Click the link.
Done.
Please.
Easy.
Also, use Google.
There's such a shit applause from behind us. It's like this sort of slow.
Yeah, all right.
To be fair, that was the reaction we used to get in the studio most of the time as well.
True. Man, it feels good.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Nothing has changed.
Let's watch the tape and see how close we got.
See, I know I had to be in it because I did the thing. Oh God, it was me again.
Are there any newer games like Mod Nation Races on the PS4?
like Mod Nation.
Number 2.
Oh yeah, is Mario Kart on the PS4? Great.
What was its score? If
I didn't even answer that.
Review. And last, Jim, say these.
Close enough.
There was another one.
There's an extra.
What the fuck? Oh, is that a Lando shirt?
Mod Nation Races. I love the customization options in that.
Do I now?
Kart
Interesting.
racer.
Yeah, it's tough to find a PS4
It's like that my head's got shorter again.
I remember this game. It was sick.
Which could be similar. Though we're not exactly sure when that's
What a weird bit of
Yes, of
overlay.
course. In the meantime, you might like to try Skylanders Supercharged,
Skylanders.
which is kind of a platformer cross kart racer.
Yep.
Or maybe Trackmania Turbo.
Oh,
Speedy
you
time
can
attack
hear it in my
racing
voice.
with
I'm
blood
trying
pumping.
so hard
There's
to
heaps of
talk
other more traditional
slowly.
races on PS4, like say Wipeout, Omega Collection, or Redout. Another co-op racer due out this year is Trailblazers, which looks like it has
That was actually really good.
and teamwork features.
I can't get past my t-shirt.
It's just staring at me.
These games might not quite have the character.
Look at your eyebrows, Gus.
You could
What's wrong with them?
Now
They're
to a
just
question
like-
about whether we
They're
reviewed
They're so
hydraulics.
bouncy.
Yeah.
Sure we did, but let's get Darren back on the line and find out.
Oh, wow. What a catch.
Babe, like chill
Wow.
your
Oh,
face
that's
out
so
for like
weird.
2
Can we do that pose now?
And fade.
Oh, but you can't hide the crow's
Baby
feet.
girl, relax your face. I promise it won't kill you.
What Phoenix says when Gus still had zest for life.
Sweet before times.
That's
very
so
good.
funny.
Gus bouncy eyebrows.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So
Maybe-
you would remember this, Gus. I had a real problem with talking like a speed demon, especially my first
yeah.
year. And I went into I did like a month of like speech therapy to try and slow down when I came
Yeah.
into like my second or third year.
I found that was particularly when you're trying to remember lines. It's like you don't want to forget the next bit, so you want to get to it faster.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like I would always have that problem too. It's really hard to talk slow.
It was the note I always got was like, okay, now take a breath,
Yeah.
slow it down,
Yeah.
slow again.
Yeah.
You're not taking the notes, slow down.
I just can't believe that my brain forgot there used to be an auto cue as well.
Yeah.
Waiting for that to change into a script.
Yeah, totally.
Where are my lines?
Should we turn this into a segment where we get people to actually from our current audience sending questions? I feel
Yeah,
like that could
that'd
be
be
a healthy
fun.
way to do this.
I reckon. But, I mean, I'm happy to also just give some like life advice, bad life advice.
Just questions. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would so watch a segment where it's just life advice.
but still in that style.
Yeah.
But still
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
Still that bouncy.
Still,
bouncy,
yes,
yeah.
A little bit
super
psychotic.
enthusiastic.
Yeah,
Talking about like best way to do mortgage repayments, but done in a kind of bouncy like crackhead style that I really perfected there.
I like it.
So up next, Steph and Jim.
Nice.
All right.
We never got to do this, so
There
this
you
must
go.
be.
Up you get, which means it's a fake question. I don't know. Get up
These
behind
are
these
questions
yeah.
we have no tape for, but I hope. Do we have an answer or?
You know what?
We'll
Just
find
have fun up there.
Yeah.
No, there's no tape. No, there was
But do we have?
These are real questions though, because I started writing fake ones and I just couldn't.
Yeah, cool.
I couldn't get the childlike enthusiasm and fury.
Because
The
you've
youthful exuberance?
Would you say you've lost your zest for life?
No, I'm not a child,
Sure.
Every
I'm a
day I
grown
feel
adult
my
man.
zest for life draining.
so I can't think
guys.
like a kid. But these are Fantails, by the way. Will brought them in.
Will,
Oh!
somebody came into chat the other day. Oh no, it was in Discord. Somebody was like, "Why did Will buy 5 kilos of lollies?" And
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't know about that."
That's
And then
between Will
I
and
saw
God.
him today with a fantail, and I remember the discussion that fantails being discontinued, and I was like, "Will bought 5 kilos of fantails."
Yeah, they're gone.
Because they've been discontinued. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like now they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like end of July is the last time you may see some, but after
But,
that,
Sorry,
it's
I gotta
gone.
make a sudden rush order 1,000 Fantails.
No,
That's
well,
what I
Will
did.
will be selling them on the black market,
yeah.
so you can just he can be your
piece
contact.
by piece. I don't even know where that bag is now.
Actually, yeah. Now put the fantail in
In
and
your-
try and answer a question.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh crap. Okay, hang on.
And cutting across in 3, 2, 1.
It's me. I'm a Mario. Something about that's canon.
Hello, welcome back to this segment. I should have eaten the Fantail first. For the Oxenfree II. I'm
Jim, there's questions that need to be answered. What are you doing?
I'm so sorry. I got distracted. Okay, I can do it. Let's go. This one comes to us from Isaac in Perth in WA. Every time I play Wii Sports Bowling, I bowl the ball straight, but it goes off to the left. Why does it do that? And can you give me some tips for making it go straight? Thanks, Isaac, for your question.
Well, Isaac, I would say that sometimes it's okay if it goes a little bit to the left. No one's bowling style is the same. And so it can go straight, or it can go to the right, or it can go to the left. And, you know, that's all perfectly normal. And, you know, some people prefer when it goes a little bit to the left. That can be kind of cool. Jem knows all about that. I am bisexual, thank you.
Oh, you're ruining. But thank you for your question, Isaac. We hope these answers proved useful. What I'm saying is, play your way. There's no right or wrong, and soon you'll be a Wii bowling master.
Yeah, good luck with your bowling.
And your weird penis. That's what we were all thinking, right?
Yeah. That was the joke. Yeah.
That was the
Was and again we don't have the tape. I probably should have arranged a tape for these, but this was Barjo and Steph, and this was very, very early days. But you both clearly knew that it was referencing masturbation. And you answered the question really straight, but I'm glad you jumped straight back onto it, because it was like, that's why I picked this one. I was like, surely they'll see that same through line.
Holy shit.
Why is my bowling lean a little to the left?
That's so funny. I did not remember. I would think that I would remember that. I want to watch it. I have to go back and watch it.
Yeah. That's very fun.
Good.
Well done.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Amazing.
Well done. I'm sorry.
It was wonderful.
Finish all those segments with, and I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry. Children of the world.
Will?
I assume it's us.
I guess we've just never done this before. So.
No. Well, you didn't get aired, but you turned into me, so you couldn't exist within the show, within the canon.
Oh, did we do that?
We filmed it, and it
filmed
exists.
that, and then they took it away. We did a Doctor Who regen thing.
Maybe.
It was like
I've
your
got
new
it somewhere.
form.
I'll bring it up one day.
That's right. We had it so I physically turned into you, and then they cut it.
Because I had my big surgery, and they were like, we don't know when he's going to be on, so it's going to be weird if that happens, and then there's just nothing for a while.
Sure,
I should remember this, but I don't.
Yeah, I also think that there was a part of them that they're like, that's too weird for kids.
That's just too much.
Did they do some wacky character introduction for you?
Nearly choked.
Yeah.
It's not a spit cup.
It is now.
There's chips in there.
But she's got
my
talk.
chips.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hi, I'm back. Welcome in. Please don't gift that. Yeah, I was brought in as the new tech who had rebuilt the studio.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
Yeah.
We moved into new space, so we made sure we came in and it was like, hey, I've just built the whole set. Also, I may as well stick around and be on the show.
That's
Pretty much. I kind of built the set and put down in the cloud and was like, that's my job done. Oh, can you want me to stay? Sick. Okay. That was my little intro.
And I wrote a note in your book and said, have my job.
Have my job. All right, let's do it.
Presumably, Goose was already on the show, so he didn't get a character introduction that same way.
No, not when I was there.
But what about when you appeared as a field reporter? Was it just like, welcome, I'm Goose, I'm the new field
You don't
reporter?
remember, do you?
No.
We had an induction where you guys put me in a robe and had me untangle cables on the ground
Oh,
screaming.
that's right.
Yeah,
we gave you menial tasks as like a as like a hazing thing. Yeah.
Never really stopped, did it?
And look where we are now.
This is also, I just realized, one of those combos when I used to do it with Barjo as well, which is like, if I did one with you of these, it was like high energy and someone who was like the straight man, who was a bit more.
Sure.
But if I did one with Barjo sometimes, or in this case this, it's too much wobble. It'd be too much like.
You're both too wobbly?
We're both just a little too
little jittery.
Yeah, got
it. Hello and welcome to the Ask BP desk. How are you, Will?
I'm good, Gus.
All right, well, let's get into it with the first letter from the bag.
Too much.
He's over there. Over there. Brody from Melbourne, Victoria asks, hey guys, do you know of any free games like Trials 2 available on iPod/iPhone? P.S. I love your show.
We are doing the Barjo.
iPod.
One more time.
Wait, on the iPod?
We're really dating
Yeah,
this one.
iPod/iPhones. This is an old question.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna Barjo. Well, Birdie, if you found yourself with an iPod and you're looking for a game that's just a little bit like Trials 2, may I recommend
Trials 1? Oh, that's very true. Or if you could get your parents' permission, you'd go online and play Freerider, which was also a similar game to this.
Why not head to a browser-based game as well? There's heaps out there. Head to Newgrounds. It's all safe.
The
One person got that.
The problem with you being that animated now is you have such an epic beard that you look like a crazy old man.
I also love the energy started up here and then very quickly came back down.
You're like the quest giver who's just like, hey kid,
wanna buy some maps? I got maps.
Yeah.
We both have a lot of hair going on, which is probably why we're not on kids' TV anymore. I'll be honest. That's half the reason.
I remember me looking at the photo.
Doing the energy?
Yeah. Well, I remember me looking at my photo of me in the hallway, and it's like cut, and E woke up and he goes, I missed that, and because I had all my long hair. Like,
did anyone walk past the picture of me and say, I don't miss that?
It probably wasn't up.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's all the time we have for it. If you'd like to send us a question, fuck off.
And then that's how I got the job.
Wow. Well done.
So I had a panic realization at the beginning. I'd said that it was me, Joe, and Elliot that were remaining. Dana is also there. I feel so bad. Yeah. Dana is watching, and I feel so bad I just forgot to mention her in the
Watching
beginning.
now, or
she's watching. She's probably watching.
I'm sorry.
So sorry, Dana.
We're sorry.
I haven't made a single pun since I left. It's really sad. I need your puns.
Dana is so good at making puns. It makes me feel really bad at telling jokes.
Mine was all about over-alliteration in my reviews. I would write way too much alliteration, and people...
Then you'd pass it to me and be like, have fun.
Yep.
I'm like, you
Mine
son
was
of a gun.
just emotional overwriting and talking about landscapes.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Jem. Mine is getting to waxing philosophical about every minor narrative detail.
Yeah.
And then getting really emotional about it.
Yeah. And I was just like refused to be edited. So I was just like, they'd be like, maybe you've kind of repeated yourself here. I'm like, no, it must stay in there.
You could switch face to well, do you want me to do a different way? And it's like, no, you got it. And you're like, well, then we should move on. And it was like, but you were right.
Because I know I nailed it.
Yeah, because she nailed it.
Yep.
And we nailed it in a segment that may never
No, we got one more. We got one
more.
more. It's Will and Steph.
We gotta do one.
Of course!
Yeah.
Get up there.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go.
I forgot. Final pairings.
Here we go.
Were there any answers, Pete, to that actual question? Does anyone know what's good on iPod?
We have one for the first one. What was that?
So these were all random. I can't even remember where I pulled them from. I scrubbed through 40 Ask Spawn Point pieces. But I did go back. I went through my YouTube history just then and found the Steph and Barjo answering the bowling question. So we'll play that before we close out the seg.
Nice.
I'm trying to remember all of the somebody brought up French Perth the other day, and I was like, I forgot all about French Perth.
Is it still going, Jen?
And
Still very much a thing.
Yeah, and the
French
high fives.
Perth and the Llama Llama Duck King.
Doing high fives.
Yes, I couldn't. That it is canon that I can't high five. So to this day, when kids come up and they ask me for a high five, I'm like,
Also, mad point.
Hit him in the face.
Mad points to Will for doing exactly what anyone would do, which is start the segment by pulling a toy apart and then going the camera's on. Off we go.
You'll be delighted to know that both those laptops I have just been ripping keys off.
Good.
Yeah.
There is not a single one that is still where it's meant to be.
Starting on the phone, good move. All right, let's take it away in 3, 2, 1.
What? No, I can't. I put it in for repairs. You said you'd have it back to me by Monday. Well, I can't lend it to Barjo. He killed the last one. Fine. Will, I need to borrow your PS4.
Can do. But first, let's answer some messages. What's this called?
Ask BP.
Nailed it.
Okay. Why don't you take this one?
I'll take this one. Baby Hobbit Queen, Canberra, ACT. Hi GSP. So I was wondering, which is your favorite game out of Terraria, Stardew, this is one word, out of Terraria, Stardew Valley, and Roblox? If you do not know, we've got to go up here. If you do not answer my question, I will turn you off your Wi-Fi permanently. Shall we share this?
Yeah, sure.
All right. PS, do these. Shing.
Good. Yep.
And
That's just. Did you do the noise for thanks? But go, thanks.
That's how Barjo used to do it.
He's in the game.
Nice and brief. Our favorite game out of those.
For me, I've got to say it's definitely Terraria because we had so much fun just digging tunnels of doom and, you know, adding a little shelf that would murder the person on the way down, which was just hilarious because on this show we love to murder our friends.
Absolutely. I have all those same memories.
Yeah.
Also, my favorite is Roblox, but make sure you ask your parents first because there's some like fucked up shit there. So like, just be careful, man. Thanks for your question.
Have a great day.
And put me in.
Hello? You did? No. He what? Barjo picked up my PS4 from the repair guy and he's already broken it again.
Oh no, let's go. Oh god.
Good.
I think that was the best one.
I think that's the
that
best
was great.
one.
That was the most realistic.
The excuse to leave.
Yep.
The parental warning.
It took a while to come back.
Yeah. The like throw a little bit of ad lib at the top that you call back to as well.
That's very good.
As well. Like
Very good.
nailed it.
Incredible. I loved it.
But I do, as I said, I do still love the pause afterwards because I realized how much I read them from an autocue and nothing was syncing.
No.
Yeah,
it was
you just
just
read it.
parroting.
Yep.
So then when the answer has to come naturally, I've forgotten every single word.
I forgot how to speak.
Yeah. and it's also like we had overlay, but you have to when you're reading autocue, you have to and the thing is like we didn't use autocue on any other part of the show.
Yep.
So it wasn't like we were super practiced in it. When it came to do that, it was just like that one sort of segment that we did it. And you have to just read it as much as you can continuously without stopping. And if you mess it up halfway through a line, you have to go all the way back to the start of it and then go again. And it was always like maybe like one or two words that you just constantly trip on. And there'd be someone there who's like, do you want me to change it? And you'd be like, yes,
I can do it. It's
if you
fine.
could, and then it'd be like, wait a second, and of course it was the ABC, so it was like this archaic autocue from like
That's right.
1972
Type,
or
reset.
something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So it took ages, and it was like this massive. If you fucked up, it was like a huge stall and imposition on everyone.
And the more you apologized and said thanks, you're like, thanks so much for changing that.
yeah.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks,
But it was also it was also like half an hour of setup at the start where Barjo would be like, I think the font should be a little bit larger, and then he'd be like, no, that's too big. That's too big now. It needs to go back.
Turn on reversed as well.
Yeah.
And everyone be like, oh, it's reversed.
Sorry,
It's like,
blue
just fix it.
screened.
Yeah.
I can't. You'd be thrilled to know we have a new auto cue.
Yeah.
Nothing else has changed.
I'm missing lunch for this. Yeah.
I think also at one time when Peter had started on the show and we just started dating, he put a cute message at the end of the auto cue once as well when I was doing it.
Did you make Barjo read it? Also, see you tonight.
Wait a minute.
We have
What a cutie.
the real answer to the Wii bowling question.
cool.
ready.
Oh, good.
Oh yes, I need to hear this. What did
A
you say?
little to the left, Dick. Let's hear it. We're all thinking.
Every time I play Wii Sports bowling, I bowl the ball straight, but it goes off to the left. Why does it do that? And can you give me some tips for making it go straight?
Yeah.
Well, Isaac, it does that because the
wow.
Wii
This
remote
is
detects
early.
any
This was
twisting in your wrist as you bowl, which it registers as spin in the ball, causing it to roll off to one side or the
We
other.
all needed
There's
glasses
two
all
ways
the
you can
time.
get
We all
around
have
that.
that.
Firstly, you can work with your shot and aim far off to the right so that it
How else
curves
would you
into
know that
the
we're
pins.
nerds?
Or you can try what I call the late release trick, where if you let go of the B button just a fraction
Oh my
after
God,
your
it
knee
is-
has swung the
my
ball,
God.
it often shoots straight out in front of you like an arrow.
Oh my god.
Couldn't he just try and keep his wrist level as he bowls?
Well, yeah, crazy idea, but I suppose that would work. Anyway, that's all the time we have for this week. Don't forget, you can ask us about anything gaming that's bugging you by jumping on our site and sending us in your question. Hello!
Cracking the edge. Oh my god.
No,
Amazing.
she'll never
Oh my
be beaten
gosh.
as the disruptor of,
Amazing.
of every one of those.
That's so funny.
That's fucking wild.
I can see it in your eyes.
I want to talk to Joe about that and see if he specifically remembers that whole thing. That's so funny.
I was also just realizing I was like, we always used to have fake glasses that you'd put on as well without any glass in them, and we'd all do that. I was like, oh, we forgot to do that for this, and I looked around and we're all fucking wearing glasses, and I'm like, that's a real
Extra layer there. These are just transitional lenses. I don't need glasses, but I like the frames on these. But they
Yeah,
also
all
become
right,
sunglasses.
Okay, some
They
of us
become
need these.
sunglasses when I go outside.
Some of us need these to see.
Barjo putting something on his head and going, hat.
Comedy gold.
The
Seriously.
master of a good laugh there.
Classic Boggo.
Good.
Just a note, that was 2010, so it was very early days of Steph on.
So that was year one of Spawn Point.
Year one of Spawn Point. That was an early episode as well. So you can even, I think you even see like that laugh at the end there. That's like a moment of you becoming the Hex that was on the show to come. Of like that dynamic was still being built, which it's so beautiful. You see that like early moment.
The facade broke at the end when he got the laptop on his head.
Laughing to a what the fuck am I doing?
But that was always his goal, was to break. Was to get me to break performance by doing something dumb enough that I would,
I love that, though.
It was a joy.
It feels like you're like a peek behind the curtain there, because we were, 13?
Children,
2010?
Yeah.
It's like, you see something special.
The breaks are always great.
And also just like
the
tone in voice, like something about everyone's voice starts at one tone and gets there eventually. It might be like slightly more, I don't want to say nasally, but it's like you were talking out and not giving it any gusto.
Well, it's also you're modeling off the presenters that you've seen on TV. So I always feel like my early episodes I sound a bit like Sandra Sully, because I'm like, that's how presenters talk. So I'd be like, welcome to the show.
I've definitely had kids be like, your voice is deeper than it sounds on the show. I'm like, it's because I'm not talking 3 octaves higher.
Yeah. What a funny experience.
Should down memory lane in a segment that we might not do again called Ask Back Pocket. Ask BP.
Ask BP. My gosh.
And we'll be back after one more ad break.
Queef is their word from the spot in inversion, and just go.
It's game plan time. Let's go! Multiplayer medieval slasher Mordhau is getting a console release. Fans love Mordhau for its combat, but say the community is toxic. Supernatural thriller Oxenfree II Lost Signals is about a group of friends who unwittingly open a ghostly rift. Grab your Switch, some tools, and a couple of friends and drop into Manic Mechanic. It's like Overcooked, it's got couch co-op, it's cute. Testament to the Order of High Human is an RPG with some Metroidvania in there. You play the king of the High Humans, which is either very elitist or he's actually high, which is a whole other thing. Fans of XCOM will probably also like Jagged Alliance 3. Journey through childhood imagination in the brother and sister adventure puzzler Lost in Play. Peter played the demo, he said it was good. Capcom's team-based exosuit adventure sees you battling dinosaurs in the year 2040. Wait, that's pretty soon. I'm sure it's fine. What are you playing? Tell me in the comments.
Mussolini is back and is on a war pouring. Luckily, recruitment kennels have been set up everywhere to show those humans that a good dog's bark is far better than a kitty's bite. So, join the JEP today, the Joyfully Enlisted Paw Patrol. Whether you're a pooch in training, or you're already on the job, become the hound Her Majesty needs you to be in the JEPP. Why look, it's the Amphibious Light Infantry 2nd Battalion Royal Australian Regiment. But of course we just call them the wet rats of the brook. They may look like a soft touch, but rest assured, they can wrestle with the best of them. That's a good boy. But it's not all work and no play. You'll be belly up in a good way with our program of R&R. That's running and, yes, you guessed it, more running. Touchdown, little fella.
I originally founded the Joyfully Enlisted Paw Patrol unit so that every pup would have the chance to show leadership and loyalty, rise to the rank of top dog, and have a big stretch. Aww.
Here at the JEP, we teach old dogs new tricks. So, say bow wow to Meow Meow and make sure Kitty knows that it's Mutt who's man's best friend. The JEPP. Sit, stay, sign up today.
Muso's musical musings.
Violet Wind asks, are reeds in reed instruments made out of actual reeds? Most reeds used by clarinets, saxophones, oboes and bassoons are made out of cane. You can also get synthetic reeds that last a bit longer, but cane reeds generally get the best sound. Just make sure you change your reeds often. If students leave them on their instrument for a long time, they can get really mouldy, which isn't great for the player's health. Cane reeds can be fickle. In a pack of 10, you can expect 1 to be good, 2 or 3 to be serviceable, and the rest are just crap. Imagine if condoms had that level of reliability.
Muso's musical musings.
Welcome back.
That took a turn.
That
Caught me off guard there. I was like, oh no, what?
What's a serviceable condom? I mean, it either works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Serviceable implies like
There's no middle ground.
there's no- yeah.
What's the level of that one?
Post show, everybody.
Let's answer that at the outset. No.
Hey, back over there. We saw some words from sponsors there. We saw some words from Belly Kate and Muso for Hire. The Belly Kate queef. One of the best we
good.
have.
I like that there's like 3 different angles of the inversion. Very cool. Very cool.
Please keep sending this words from sponsors. The form is working now, so if you had any videos banked up that you haven't submitted, we're good to go. We also saw an ad from Jep. One of your best too. Very fun.
It's just fun to do that voice,
Yeah.
which I've discovered I've done way too many times. We did a job recently that did that. We found a video of me and Barjo doing how to send in letters for Ask SP.
Yep.
Exact same,
Same
voice.
voice.
Same
Yep.
thing. I got limited range. I got one old-timey voice. And I know how to use one filter in Premiere.
You do it really well, though.
It's very good.
Look, I
It's very
personally
good.
think bring back the voice you were using for one of the fortzes we did where we dressed up as
Oh,
like.
yeah. It's probably the
We
same.
did British Forza.
It was probably the same voice.
That's right. We did British and we did
Yeah.
Aussie.
And I did
Remember we
Lego.
did the one in the Outback? You don't remember at all.
I remember us doing the one in the car with Darren, and I had a banana.
That was the
That's the one.
Banana down. Banana down.
Banana down. That was so. I don't know why I watched that again recently.
I
But
think
it's
that made blooper reels, and therefore like
that was it, because there was a
stuck in mine.
slapstick moment where I had the banana.
we had to
in the
pretend we were in a car, and it just went down. And
car.
again,
And Darren was driving.
Darren was passenger. I was
You were
driving.
driving.
Yeah,
we picked
okay.
up. Barjo was a hobo.
That's right. We picked up Barjo on
Wonderful.
the side of the road.
Yeah.
It's something you don't think about, like doing the movement in a car
Yeah.
until you think too hard about it. And you're like, wait
Yeah,
a
because
minute.
we did spaceships.
Yeah.
We did spaceships, and it was that the
Always
whole
be like,
time.
okay, now take it down like 10%. Now
Yeah.
bring it up 20%.
Very fun. Very fun.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen? Sorry, one last thing.
Yes.
They used to make them when they did spaceship crashes in like the old Star Trek series. They just used to bounce around the set, and then they'd shake the camera.
Yeah,
so it looked
yeah,
like
yeah.
it. So now people use stabilizing technology to
see
stabilize
people
it,
going, "Whoa!"
and you just watch the cast throw themselves around the
That's
set.
cool.
Fucking amazing.
I would love to do that. I'd like a day where I throw myself around a set.
Yeah.
It'd be so much fun.
It's the TARDIS, man. I want to do it one day.
So cathartic.
We also saw the game plan, which is of course sponsored or brought to us by
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to hear that in my dreams.
by A. Timothy.
He's just he's working with us on the fly.
I like
Amazing.
it. I like the Josh.
You didn't like the SpongeBob noise. I changed it.
Oh.
Well,
You bring it back.
it's
very well.
scary how well you can do
What was
that.
the Goofy, Mickey Mouse? What was it? I was trying to remember. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It's got to us.
Fuck is
I'm coming
for you.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna get you.
It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing.
Terrifying.
We've done enough stories tonight, but we are introducing a kind of addition to the A. Timothy mythos and how we
Sure.
treat this moment in time. Usually we've been talking about a famous Tim. We're still doing that, but we're removing the information until one of you guesses. I'm explaining how a guessing game works.
Okay.
I kind of did it backwards a little bit. Basically, I'm going to give you some facts about a famous Tim. And I feel like this only works for some Tims. Some Tims we're going to just have to do the normal
Yeah, we
way.
didn't
Sure.
think this. We didn't
Yeah,
think
But
this.
this is like a Tim you could get.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's,
okay.
it's in there. Another one.
Would you say this is a game?
Jesus Christ.
Solid.
You gotta
Ben.
you gotta read the question off the wrapper.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Oh, man, that would have been better. But this Tim, the first clue is that this Tim was involved in the murder of a very important figure in our history.
Nah, keep going.
This Tim once rode around America with a group of other men on motorcycles.
Oh, wait. Oh, fucking. Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen killed someone?
Well, he killed Santa Claus.
Oh, I was thinking of that time he got caught with all the blow in his arms or something.
You really had me at he's
What?
murdered a man.
There's a lot of problems with Tim Allen.
Tim Allen?
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't hide it there, but he got caught with a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't he the guy in that terrifying dog movie?
Shaggy Dog.
Shaggy Dog.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
I still have nightmares about
We're just
that.
flying by the drug info. Go to the
The dog had
TV.
human eyes. The
Yeah.
dog had human eyeballs.
I don't know
There might
why
have
I'm
been driver's
surprised.
Yeah, I mean, to make that movie, you kind of have to
That's
have
true.
drugs
It
in your
is.
butt.
That's true.
Massive cokehead is Tim, says Spice Man. All right, there we go.
Gus? You don't have to eat it during the segment, but there's your little fan tail.
I don't recommend it. You will choke.
Yeah, you won't get very much. But that's not the only thing we're doing in this segment. Jem, I feel like there's certain things that you brought really to the space that you may be a little bit of a fan of that we could maybe pull upon for a segment.
All right.
And I could say what the name of the segment is, or we could play a title card for that segment.
Ooh. You made a title card? Sorry, contain yourself. Yes! Oh, thank you! The Lord looked down on me this day and said, "You horny sicko, it's your time to shine."
Dolphin pants, we gon' fuck aliens?
It's true.
It's true. It's true.
So good. I'm not hiding this. I brought a body pillow onto the set of Gamer. Like, this is not an unknown thing about me.
That's so
but
funny.
we will have to there's many words, but hold you back from this segment for a little while. And then we will be able to release... Yeah, that's the word. Because we do need to tell you that this segment is brought to you by Mr. Nicrotex. There he is.
The king of edging.
We picked a good tweet to go along with this segment because Mr. Nick Belling, at Nick Belling on the tweety, says, sure, we can 69, but I'm going to have to understand the lore if I haven't done 1 through 68.
Good.
Nice.
It's very good.
Nice.
I get it.
Nice.
It's very good.
I get it.
He's always got a little dirty tweet.
Yeah.
Little dirty tweet. I'd say from time to time,
But I would
most of the
say
time.
like clever as well.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's highbrow.
The smart.
The thinking
Outdoes
man's
the
dirty
smart.
tweet. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the thinking man's dirty tweet.
I'll leave that to him. Thank you, Nicrotex, for sponsoring this seg. Jem,
Hello, thanks.
you've played the Mass Effects.
I have.
And how many times have you played them? Have you kind of gone through all the potential options of paths?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I know most of them, but I only play the same decisions.
Really?
Yeah, I'm the same.
I romance the same person. I do the best job of being Paragon that I can do. I make the same renegade choices every time. I know what I like and I stick to it.
Yeah, because I find if you're emotionally invested in it, it becomes really hard to just be like, oh, I'll play the other option, because you want so badly to like have the experience feel immersive that it becomes really hard to go against that.
I'm like, I should date Garrus, but I simply
I
cannot.
was going to say a bit of that Garrus, but...
I'm Thane. I'm Thane Krios.
Wow.
Interesting.
My old terminally ill lizard man.
Let's have a look at the board because we're going to be ranking all the potential love paths.
Hit me! Let me out!
Wow.
Well, but this is the thing. You got to kill your you got to kill your darlings because like we're going to rate all of them from top to bottom.
The Dom energy comes back. Wonderful.
It's obviously number one. That usually is like an easy win, but like it's knocking out the other. Well, what we should start by doing is try to like knock
I
the
see
list
it.
down
Issue
to
already.
what 5?
Yeah, kill some ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Where's
one thing-
Edie?
Wait.
Edie, you can't romance Edie.
I know, but I
shepherd.
tried.
I gave it a good
and I didn't know that until afterwards.
I
and
will
put it a
point
lot
out, Jarvik is not romanceable. You can bang him in the Citadel DLC if you don't romance anybody else.
Wait,
but he's
who?
not a Jarvik, Levin.
Oh yeah, but he's like a messed up one night stand, right?
Oh, super. They're like, we will not speak of this again.
Yeah, that's why they're on the board. So.
Oh, okay, fine. If I can... Oh, Giles here too? Oh, man. Okay.
All right, well, hang on. I just want to start by going around the room and just okay, obviously preference. Thane?
Thane for me,
Thane's number one. Will, have you got someone?
Not particularly. I live through Jem's relationship with these characters, so I'd say Thane. I have always been fond of Garrus. I think he's an interesting looking dude.
That's fair.
So one of those two.
Fair enough. Steph?
It's Liara for me.
Okay.
After I tried so hard with Edie and she just was not interested.
She's the computer, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, right.
But like, she was very human.
She gets a body in
2? 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
right.
what a body, Gus.
Almost.
I think I
What a
remember.
body.
We're getting there, don't worry.
Yeah, no, I love Liara, and I love, I think like that whole race is a really beautiful kind of goddess vibes.
Well, potentially there were 3 of them because there's Samara who's in 3.
2 and 3.
2 and 3. But then Samara's daughter is someone you can romance, but it doesn't work out well.
So Morinth, you did this to yourselves. Morinth is an Ardak Yakshi, which is a genetic disorder that some Asari can develop if they're made of 2, if the pairing is 2 Asari. Anyway, the point is if you have sex with her in 2, it kills you and you get a game over screen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sick.
And then if you keep her, she will dick you over in 3. So.
And I love love Tali, but I murdered her entire race.
What?
So
No!
I don't.
On purpose?
No.
That gets you. It always
This
gets
is
you.
my Mass Effect story. Peter and I were playing through the game. It was very cute. Together, next to each other on the couch, but we put up a little divider so that we weren't spoiled.
I
But
love
we
it.
wanted to have the experience of playing it like together at the same time. Very cute. When we were in my little like Newtown apartment, and so we were kind of like hitting the same story beats around about the same time. But like, I remember making a decision that ultimately resulted in that happening. And I looked at Peter and I was like, "Did this happen to you?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "What did I do wrong?" It was awful.
I streamed the entirety of Mass Effect over the course of like 6 or 7 months. And at one point it was like a 10-hour live stream and I was so like emotionally wrecked from playing this. But yeah, that one is there's two choices that are really kind of dick players over. One is Rex in Mass Effect 1.
Yep.
Very hard to secure his loyalty if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. And then getting enough, because you can't
fuck Rex though?
No,
you have to pick between the Geth and the Corians, I think.
Unless you have enough Paragon or Renegade in either way, you can't sit in the middle. You have to have a lot of one.
I'm such a fence sitter. That's totally what it would have been.
See, that's the thing with that as well. Like, I love Mass Effect, but it's not really role play if I'm constantly being like, I have to have enough Paragon points to do this one decision later.
Yeah.
And then, because I romanced Tali, but it was a long time ago, and I'm going back there now.
Reminiscing in his mind's eye.
We had to like take her mask off or something, and she was like allergic to air.
So yeah, Quarians, I'm so sorry you did this to yourselves. Quarians, because they were kicked off of their planet by the Geth.
Yes.
So yeah, they're in the Quarians are in quarantine suits. So they cannot breathe or take in normal air without getting all the diseases that come with it.
Quarians quarantine? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I don't think it's ever been properly confirmed.
Oh my god, that's like unobtainium.
This sounds like a lot of plot, though. This is about banging, so
Yes.
let's kill some.
We'll keep us on target.
Yes.
Okay.
Focus on the banging.
The only thing I wanted to point out as well is Jarl is the only character from Andromeda.
Yes, and the best romance in my opinion.
Well, I was gonna say we looked up some of the clips. I looked up I looked at the clips. And Jarl's saucy.
Man,
And I put him in there as a joke, but
dude, Jarl. I don't know if I can say this on this.
Say whatever you want.
Jarl goes down and you see it. Like, you see him go for
shit.
it. I did a panel at PAX that was called, like, Defend Your Mass Effect Love Interest. And I put up a panel that was like, give us the R18 cut BioWare, you cowards.
Amazing.
I want to see it. I know they did it.
Wow.
Someone's modeled it. For
Right.
sure.
Well, who are the easy ones to strike?
Who are we losing just up front?
And again, this is how lists tend to work. Is we can go around the room, you can strike them off. If someone really wants to fight you for it to keep it there, they can. But I mean, it's your decision ultimately. So
I would say get rid of Ashley.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, most of the humans need to go, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that
get rid
a
of
thing?
Ashley, get rid of
Like, we're in a
Caden.
space game,
Get rid of
and this is
Ashley.
all about banging aliens.
Yeah. I will say Jack has one of the most meaningful romance
I liked
things.
Jack a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Jack.
And
Especially
Jacob's got an
Renegade.
amazing rig as well. I'm just
Look.
saying, I mean, if there's a clip.
I just remember like how many butt shots we saw of Miranda. Like there was so many like they'd cut to the reverse and then you would come back to the shot and then be like, oh, we're looking at her butt now.
Do you know?
And she's having a conversation and she's talking and it's just like the camera's on her butt.
On
And
her,
I'm like,
like during a really emotional moment, she's like talking about her kidnapped sister, and it's like just an arse shot.
She was clearly, and she was put in two, like, and it felt like she was the love interest that everyone was gearing towards, or the developers were saying this is probably
Yvonne
her-
Strahovski.
And so I
she's
remember
gorgeous.
romancing, or trying to follow a relationship with Tali, and Miranda just kept walking into more cutscenes and being like, "I guess I'm going and doing this alone." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't give a shit." And I was like,
I'm trying to
"Fuck
bang
her
Quarry."
and the developers." I'm like, "No,
yeah.
I'm trying to work out how to get in that suit."
Caden always felt a bit blah as well.
Who's Caden?
Caden has this unfortunate thing in one where they really try to push that romance so that when you say it's very like normal things like, oh, thank you for this gift, he's like, oh, so we're in love.
Oh, wow.
It like locks in the romance.
yeah.
Like, get away from me, you freakazoid. Don't
Yeah.
See love bomb.
Yeah.
A little bit.
All right, I'm okay with losing
Jacob
Caden.
got done
Caden.
real dirty in that if you romance him in 2, he will cheat on you in 3.
Wow.
And get with someone else in the time that Shepard has been incarcerated.
I mean,
and has like a whole new family. 6 months.
That's pretty cool.
Oh,
6
I was
months.
like, "You're in prison," and she's like, 6 months.
6
It was 6 fucking months.
6 months.
Wait for me.
He got done a bit dirty, unfortunately, with his writing. So
Well, you
people
did
don't
look dirty
like
by
him.
the sounds of it.
So we lose Jacob as well? Is that what we're saying?
Well, let's lose Javik. Javik?
Yeah, you're into Javik.
Okay.
He's a great character.
I mean,
not
yeah,
a
the clip I did watch it was amazing. It's basically you wake up and he's there. He's like, and you're like, never talk to anyone about this. And
Shepard's
you
like
leave.
hunched over the bed, being like, "We will not
like literally
speak of
like
this."
hung over on the bed. And
Amazing.
Sorry, I thought that was
Sick.
wild. Hence they're gone.
He's just a fling.
Yep.
Just a fling.
Right,
Just
look,
a fling.
yeah.
Well, and that's the
in
thing.
full
Like,
armor.
Amazing.
kind of like he's not leaving the room, which is
Yeah.
the important thing. And like, this is done. Time to go.
The line
He's
he
like,
says, I guess humans are proficient at one thing or something like that.
Oh, what? So he negs you as well?
Wow.
Oh, super. He does not like you.
Oh shit.
Yeah, okay.
I personally, look, a controversial
Kind of
opinion.
like him now.
I think Samara isn't I don't think Samara. That is a confidant. That is a mentor. She's
Yeah.
not a wife.
She doesn't have the kind of meaningful connection like the one that you sort of develop or can develop with Liara.
Okay.
She just feels so like I see you as a child, and I don't really get what your deal is. You're
Yeah.
interesting, but like
Kink awoken.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that could lead to
also-
like sort of step on me
oh,
stuff.
she's got mummy energy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but as a romance, not my first
working.
choice.
Sure.
Oh, mummy's gone like that.
I'm quick. You know me. No,
Bye, Mummy.
I don't mess around with these
Alright,
Photoshop
fair enough.
documents.
Fair enough.
Can we
Lady
talk
D
about
vibes.
can we talk about Garrus just for a second? Because I feel like when the conversation came up about him online, and it was just that I can't remember how it started, but somebody was just like, we got to call out how like great a romantic partner he was, and then all these, particularly women, came out of the woodwork being like, love Garrus, like he was amazing, like. And then there was kind of the discussion about his physical form and how like logistically that would work.
Yes.
Because he has like mandibles and stuff. And I think the kind of general consensus was that like he's a giver.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And
Work
other-
those mandibles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is
And
a
he
conversation.
He takes joy in pleasure, giving pleasure.
Is there ever?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Is there ever any discussions in some of the like extended dialogue about like the anatomy of the whole thing?
So, in Mass Effect 2, when you do start a relationship, I think it's with any character, but especially the aliens, you can have a conversation. Morden, who is like the ship's scientist / doctor, will be like, hey, I noticed you two are getting close. Just a heads up. So Thane, for instance, his...
Lizard man.
Yeah, his... I don't want to say it.
You're in a safe space.
Mass, what were we saying earlier?
Oh,
His Mass Erect.
Yeah, Mass Erect is good.
Something Wang.
Something.
Big hard wang.
Big hard wang.
Big hard Wang.
Yeah. That does induce hallucinogenic properties, as does his skin, because like a lizard.
Oh, shit.
Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
So he is number one. Then.
So you do get
So that's
Garrus.
that sounds like a party.
Garrus is, I think, burns if contact is made with the skin. Like it can give a rash.
Sorry, hang on.
Yeah.
We're talking about alien jizz?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was trying to say it delicately, but no, alien splooge. Yeah. So you do get like a little like, hey, by the way, if you do this.
The big old cosmic cum.
Okay, right. So that's where the question came from. So he can't
Sapphire spooge.
achieve unless he's like careful to aim it in a different direction.
It's like aliens. It goes through the acid.
Yeah.
through the wall.
Also, like, not
So
to make
he's
it like a
focused on
big-
another thing.
Not like a big dramatic thing, but like Garrus's romance is so great because it starts out as a person he respects the commander so much, and you can't romance him in one. You can in 2 and 3, but it's like a built-up thing
cool.
of like he respects you as like as a
sexual tension.
Exactly.
And like this is a little bit wrong.
It's hot.
That's my favorite.
He's not my type.
Yeah, okay.
Because
He's
I'm
the-
after Lizard Man. But
Emma Glitter says Cosmic
great.
Cum is the name of my band.
someone get on a T-shirt for
He
me.
would
That's a
compromise a
crop top.
condom, is what I think
Yeah,
we're going
yeah.
with.
There's no
Oh,
middle ground
sure,
with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
So we would not be serviceable.
that's the scale we're working at now.
But
Garrus
see, now
to
I'm
regular.
just intrigued. Again, Garrus and Thane are staying. Like,
Yes.
so we're getting
Yeah.
down to potentially how many?
We
Like
get top 6 would be great.
top 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Giles
So-
is incredibly sweet. I do think he is a great romance.
Should, like while we're talking about Giles, if there's a clip to play, we'll have a look at that because that's done.
Own zone.
Well, I was gonna say it's like it's far more. Yeah, it's like there were less people that you could romance. I think in Andromeda, is that correct? So there's a bit more. There's a bit more detail cutscene. Like it seems like they knew that was a big part of the Mass Effect series. Versus in
Yeah.
1, it's just like it says that you've talked to someone a lot. Whereas like it becomes a mechanic in the series, which is great.
Oh, the facial animations.
Oh yeah.
I'd forgotten.
I will say
all
it
with
has
the lips.
gotten better. I feel. I don't think it looks this janky.
It's
when
probably
I
an
play
early
it
clip.
now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What race is Jarl?
Jarl is an Angara.
And that's one that you only have in that game?
Yes, so they are from the... when you go into the Andromeda system, they are local to that galaxy.
What does their semen do?
You actually don't get any information on that, I don't think, in this one. We have no Mordant. We have a human doctor in, I think, in Andromeda.
Boring.
Fair enough.
Yeah, didn't get to what Splooge did to you.
But you're committed to keeping Jarl in the mix?
I think Jarl's great,
Jarl?
personally.
All right.
Yeah, between Garrus,
You got a bit of a
Thane,
scrub,
and Jarl,
Josh?
and Liara.
That's not very
Because they're just talking at the moment. And it's doing
It's a lot
nothing
of
for me.
chat. I mean, the sex scene's pretty, how you doing?
we'll terms of service, we should be
There it
Whoa!
Yeah.
Hot damn! Are
Wait
they
for
in
it.
That's very
Wait for
romantic.
it.
It's the start of Stray.
Wait for it.
Is that a waterfall behind
Here we
it?
go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, he's gonna kill him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he takes you to a waterfall. You get like fully naked. You see titties. If you,
Yeah, I know. I was gonna. It's not.
Oh! Holy!
Whoa!
Oh my
you get way
god!
closer with the dude.
He pushed with his hand. Whoa.
You do not get that if you have a female rider.
Really?
Oh, I'm so mad.
Wow! Grab those tentacles.
I mean, hey,
or whatever's
good
on your head.
Get it, rider.
Hey, Fortress.
You are on the list, sir.
Good for you. Hey, Fortress.
on the list.
Holy crap!
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
Okay. Welcome to the club, Jarl.
Who are we getting rid of?
Sorry, just on Nicrotex's thing about this.
Pretty good. Break them by the collar.
I mean, I'd be okay to ditch Miranda.
Miranda's
Because
romance kind
I
of
feel like Jack has more edge, and I'd pick one between Jack and Miranda.
I think you're so right in that the game pushes her on you so much that it makes you want to not choose
Which
her as an
felt
option.
bad because there were less dialogue, or there were less cutscene opportunities with Tali, and there were so many more that I was actively ignoring with her. I'm like, good voice acting, like, you know,
wonderful.
and in terms of like her point to the story is cool, but like, I just didn't love how it was just clearly, I don't know, we're just, you know, everything's so slim fitting. I mean, everyone's in something tight.
her romance in 3 is also very like she's in hiding in 3.
Yeah,
so you
okay.
don't really see her that much anyway. And when you do, it's like, and she can die in 3. So it's like,
Okay.
I think
It's
she
very
also.
snappy.
I think she also has kind of slightly snooty, like Yennefer vibes to me. There's a particular female character
She's
in
very
games where I'm like,
once you get to
so-
know her though, she loosens that facade quite a lot. You become
okay.
like two divas.
I think when
gals.
I'm like romancing characters, that to me is always a bit of a turn off.
Yeah.
But I totally get how for other people it's a turn on.
Yeah.
Not everyone's loving that Jacob's still there. I will
Jacob
say
could
that
probably
if
go.
we just play a little clip of Jacob as well, like
before we lose him.
like in terms of like how everyone's stacked, I would just say like Jacob for anyone who's
are we including like meaningful romance, or are we also including like?
I mean, it's called massively erect.
Yeah, like is this about like how I think
it's 50-50.
how
Everyone's
good
gotta
the
have a-
experience was
Yeah.
in bed? Because
Jacob and Miranda get the most like full body shots of anyone.
Yeah, okay, right.
In the because they're human.
All right. Good luck,
But
TOS.
I will say Shepard is like a little weird about Jacob in the game. Like she comes on really strong with no prompting. Like
comes on really strong.
Like she goes for the romance.
But like
really
you said,
aggressively.
potentially next to
right.
Miranda, it's like it's the human one that the majority maybe of people
Yeah.
attracted to a male would go for, and the same way
Oh,
Miranda would. So they
absolutely.
go right. So therefore, the character doesn't need to be like, why do we need to have Shepard justify it? It's clearly like, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, I personally think she comes on a little bit too strong, kind of like the reverse Caden situation.
The reverse Caden, haven't tried that movie.
Reverse
in a while.
Caden situation, man,
Yeah.
it's freaky.
Oh my god, those eyes!
Wow.
and
The BioWare stare.
seriously, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh,
Okay, look, I think a lot
alright.
of people are saying,
just
and
dancing.
potentially after you mentioned the
God, I'm so attracted to M. Shep. Sorry, don't mind me.
well, because you mentioned the cheating thing, I'm like, I feel like that's unfortunately a story.
Oh,
See what I mean? See what I mean? I didn't get to see any of Thane.
Wow.
Then I got to see him die.
Yeah.
wow.
I've been
Tight
erect.
rigged. Gotta give him credit.
That is a tight rig.
Yeah, like look at this whole thing. You'll get so much. You Jacob Mancers.
I hate that outfit though. I hated those weird I hated that your option was like spacesuit or like fucking
And,
weird
pencils.
latex clubbing dress. I'm like,
Yeah.
because my femshet was like cool and like, you know, a bit like androgynous and stuff, like a bit fluid, you know?
Yeah.
And so I hated that I had these like options of like, I can be in my
Heels in
work
a spaceship.
attire
Yeah.
or in like, you know, a like 90s like
Yeah, seriously.
bodycon dress.
You'll be delighted to know they did add in a jumper and like
Oh, nice.
cargo pants option.
Yeah, okay.
When the
Oh,
remaster
okay.
came out, so
That's
you get a
sure.
bit more like androgyny and like
yeah,
just
okay.
nondescript.
Lingerie doesn't
clothing.
do it for me. I like to know they're comfortable. So I'm just saying. Good set of trackies.
We following Star Wars rules? There's no underwear in space, or we changed that?
All right.
Is he going?
Jacob's gone?
Yeah, I can get Jacob
just leave
out
the rest
there.
of the board
I think we
first.
just, we saw what we needed to see.
Yeah. Okay.
Got the most out of Jacob.
Not to make this an alien first, but I'm kind of like, compared to everyone else, Jack can kind of probably go as well.
Well,
we've got 6.
Yeah, we got 6
So
now.
let's leave one human on the board.
Yeah, I'm happy with Jack over Jacob, I think.
Yeah, I love Jack. She's
I'm going to do some shuffling, but keep talking.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
So talk us through why Thane deserves to be number 1. Because personality-wise, I don't know much about
Okay, here's
him,
my
her,
thing.
it.
Yeah.
He.
Okay.
Here's my thing. I think he's number 1 because I romanced him. And he has such like a beautifully tragic story, but he was done a great disservice in 3 when they changed writers for Thane. So everything he'd said, like at the end of 2, he was like, I want to live, I'm going to find...
I love you. And then by 3, he's like, I may have come on a little strong.
I mean, he was basically like, I want to live for my son, I want to live for you. And then
He
in
has
3,
a kid?
He has a kid with his dead wife. That's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. But then in 3, he's like, actually, I'm really content with dying, funnily enough. So, sorry, bye.
Do you choose Thane every time?
Every time.
And you're never tempted by anyone else?
No.
Really?
I love Thane. I love him too much. Okay. Every time I hear he's voiced by Keith Farley, who does an amazing job. You'd think that his voice is like some like kind of tuning on it, but it doesn't. He just sounds like
I was
that.
going to say a big thing about Garrus and my appeal is it's the voice.
Yeah,
like I'm not
100%.
saying nothing physical, but like his idea is his design is quite like very alien. Whereas Thane, you can see there's a handsome chisel jaw under that. I think Garrus is missing half his jaw or something, isn't he? Like it's almost like
he has mandibles.
no, but I thought he has like an injury. Oh, that's another character.
He does have he got a hit with a rocket in the face, so it like
rocket in the face.
It like it's cracked the mandible. He's got like a prosthetic there that like covers his cheek.
I'm not judging.
About this game.
I'm not judging, but I would say like so the voice carries so much weight for Garrus, which I'm a big fan of. Clearly,
Look,
some of us
I
are.
mean, I can see both sides. I do think, in terms of like a successful and fulfilling romance, Garrus beats out Thane because Garrus doesn't cark it midway through the 3rd game. You can't change that.
Interesting.
But I think I think the kind of through line is also like intelligence is super sexy in all these characters. Like you get lost in the thing that they're passionate about, and that when they are kind of sharing their sort of expertise and knowledge and stuff, that's when you kind of have those moments where you're like, you're so dreamy.
I mean, really, you could just swap Liara and Thane. I'd be like, that's a great list.
Well, no, because then you're leaving Tali in 5, and that's my Tali.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
And I'm trying to
plead your case.
Well, I'm trying to understand that. I'm going to charge head first without thinking about it, so I'll be careful about what I say now. But I'm like, the appeal with Tali is that I don't want to say forbidden fruit, but I just did. It's like the fact that there's a barrier between you and her. There's like something to overcome, which there is with all of them. It's probably more, metaphorical, but I'm like, with her, gotta crack that suit. And I'm just like...
Do you know that if you don't romance Tali, she gets with Garrus?
Really?
Yeah, if you don't romance Garrus, you don't romance Tali, they get together in 3.
Huh.
You catch them like kissing. Well, not with like the mask is still
mandibles
very much on.
and a mask.
The mask is on. It's like a little like peck on the lip.
Is there a world where she can exist without in her home planet? Can she exist without?
So from memory,
her
she
mask?
starts to become immune to you, doesn't
later.
she?
Yeah,
she you expose if you bang her. She becomes
Which
more
I did.
exposed to.
Which she was.
Yeah, which she was to human bacteria, but the mask stays on. Like
Which
it's
I'm
a gradual thing.
The mask stays on.
The mask stays on.
Oh, that's
during
the
sex.
bedroom thing.
Yeah.
No, look, I really enjoyed her as a character. I enjoyed her side story of.
No, but that's totally a thing. The not being able to touch, like
Also, I'm into masks.
Look, I feel like this is a post-show thing.
We all
I'll save it for post-show.
masks.
I'll save it for post-show.
Sexually speaking, of course.
I've got things to talk about with that.
I would like her to at least move up past
Jarl,
because I have not experienced what we saw with Jarl in a game yet. I'm sure it's great.
It's fair.
I would put Liara above Thane. I think Liara's amazing.
She is.
Yeah, but like
I mean,
you
you're
wanted
true.
you wanted to swap them, yeah?
I personally find the
Yeah.
Liara.
And she spent money on a statue.
I did, and you've seen so much of that statue.
Yeah.
Wait, that sounded wrong. I personally would put Liara below Thane. Ooh, wording. But only again because I don't romance. I know the romance. I've watched it all, but I don't have the same feelings. I also found Liara really irritating in the first game.
Yeah,
I did too.
Yeah.
She came off
She
too
grew-
naive. That was her character trait, but I found it like
by the goddess.
Yeah,
obviously. I think I was so into that stuff, especially from like my teen Wicca phase, where I was all about like goddess everything, and I was like, I love this whole idea of their like race of just women banging women.
Yeah, man. I love Liara. I really do. I grew to love her so much more through the series, but I couldn't deal with it in one. Also, because I kind of let her on a little bit in one by accident.
I'll bet you did.
What did you do?
Gosh.
Because I was like being nice to her, and much like Caden, it does trigger certain things in like the romance.
Yeah,
and I was like,
okay.
and she was like, "Are you seeing Caden?" I'm like, "I'm not seeing either of you guys. Get off my dick."
I love that.
Leave me alone.
I love that when you have that moment in a video game where you're like, yeah, sure, I'll help you, and then you're kind of like, wait.
No,
What have
hang
I
on.
Is this sending me down a path that I don't want to go
Anders had
down?
the same problem in DA too.
Yeah.
Anders had the exact same problem.
You end up being like, I don't know, maybe like try and sort it out yourself.
What was that? Her eyes went black.
Oh yeah, that's when they go into the embrace eternity.
Oh, it's like
They
sharks.
create like a neural link, essentially. A psychic link.
Oh, right. So you get that too.
They're like
Yes.
linked to all of the other, yeah.
Oh.
They
well,
don't
yeah,
really need to. I think if I remember Asari physiology correctly, God, I need
Which
to get
you
a life.
totally do.
Yeah.
They don't actually need to do this part of the sex. The sex for Asari is the.
It's the conversation.
It's the sex of the brain.
neural connecting.
Sex of the
Wow.
Thinking
I remember
woman's.
correctly.
Sex
It's all
of the
about the
mind.
chat afterwards, really, for them, isn't it?
Wow.
Fascinating. It's all small talk.
Yeah.
Pillow talk. Sorry. So
real
Nigel just
raunchy
pointed out in the
ones
chat
tonight.
before, like she's the canon love choice by the first game. It feels like she's the main love interest of the first game. Is that correct, or is that
I feel
kind
like
of
they do try to push you in the direct. It depends on who, if you're playing Femshep or Maleshep.
Yeah,
I
right.
think Femshep is pushed towards Caden, but Maleshep isn't pushed towards Ashley. He's pushed towards Liara.
Typical.
I think, which is interesting because Liara is pan. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, she's iconic. That's kind of the thing as well. Like, if you were to point out any of the sort of alien species from the game,
totally.
it is that. I mean, whether or not people were saying, does Thane trump? That's up to you. You're our guest.
I feel like I'm doing a disservice to people who have like fulfilling
Can we just
romances.
move Jarl down the list?
Is Jarl sitting at the bottom?
I will allow Jarl to be moved down the bottom if Thane can be moved.
Can someone
above
make a
Liara.
case for Jack?
Fair.
Yeah, true.
I loved Jack but I never pursued that as a romance. I think I was.
Fun fact about that: if you given her history, she like goes into her like deep trauma of life. If you're playing Renegade and you romance her just to bang her, she will not talk to you for the rest of the like. She is not interested in you. You can't maintain her loyalty.
Can I ask
which
a
puts her
horrible
on
question?
Yes.
Do you still bang her though, or is it like you are going down that path? Hang on. My point is, does the game pull the rug out on you? Is if you were trying to romance her in that way, and you get to that point, and then she's like, "Fuck you, no."
Yeah.
Well, no, fuck you.
Pretty much.
But there's no love. There's no like.
You can't pursue the romance after that. Like if you
After what?
If you use the renegade, if you go the renegade path, which is like she's like quick sex,
Right. Okay.
then she's like, I don't.
Yeah,
What?
okay.
Just use a sock.
So the renegade option is like when you have the option to romance, you can choose the renegade option, which is like a one night stand.
Right,
And
okay.
if you choose that after that, she'll be like, I don't want to borrow.
The reason I asked
Yeah.
is because I thought potentially was that the developers putting in like, if you're trying to fast track this, you are going to be punished by not even getting with that character, which is clearly what some people might be trying to.
Right.
I was
no,
wondering
it
is that the case, but no.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It happens, right? But
Yeah.
it's just that it's how she
Whoa.
then reacts to you afterwards.
Yeah.
After blowing something up?
That's in 3. That also then means that if you don't secure loyalty, characters who aren't fulfilled in their loyalty are on the chopping block at the end of 2 for the suicide run,
Right.
and also then can have horrendous things happen to them. Like Jack, for instance, if you didn't recruit her in 2, she ends up being a Cerberus-controlled like drone essentially in 3, which is kind of wild.
I think because I love Mass Effect 2, but I've only had it once and I really should play it again. And I love the ending. It's one of my favorite endings, or sort of. Sorry.
This is the Citadel DLC where Jack gives you a tattoo.
A tattoo.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Got
Okay.
it.
All right.
Okay.
Also a crime that you can't romance Jack if you're a female shepherd.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a male locked romance.
Boo.
I know.
What was it saying?
Oh, there you go. I was
I was thrown off by the potential pegging. Was that what's happening?
I was never in with a
Oh, sorry, was
the
that
good
not what
old
we were thinking?
PP.
My bad. Was that not what we were going with? Sorry.
Yeah. You with us?
Sorry.
Gus.exe has stopped
Yeah,
working.
he's not in the room.
I love the game. I think. Hey. I think I thought I did a perfect run, and the only one that died was Jack. So I did a run of Mass Effect 2 where I kept everyone alive but Jack, and she died straight away. And I was like, oh, this is going to be where everyone dies. And then I finished it, and I'm like, everyone lives. Sorry. And Jack was someone I didn't talk to, or I hadn't talked to a lot, which is why
Sounds like you kept the Corians alive then.
Maintaining lawyer, yeah.
I don't know what it means. Like, it was so long ago.
I don't get that reference. There's an unfortunate bug in Mass Effect 2 that, like, even if you do everything right, Morden can die, which is really detrimental to the rest of your thing.
How will you find out about the cum?
Which is really detrimental to the rest of the series. If you don't have Morden on your side.
You'll just go to romance people and be like, oh, roll the dice, I guess.
What's going to happen?
The fuck was that awkward hug after the tattoo?
Oh, there's a weird thing with collision physics, I think, with BioWare games where it's like nothing really connects.
I love this. Whatever's happening now.
All right.
I'd also point out, everyone makes fun of Shepard for how they dance. Garrus is doing the exact same animation.
Really? Yeah. Tali got the moves.
Tali can sexy dance.
Also, I was like halfway through romancing her when she finally like lifted her hands up, and I was like, she has full alien hands. I was like, oh shit, I never noticed until like halfway through the game.
And did that excite you?
Like mask, webbed fingers.
keep the gloves on. Okay, so from that conversation, we're happy potentially to keep Jack as the only human still on the list at 5. Giles all the way at the bottom of 6. Tali is in 4th, which I guess I have to be okay with. I do really remember it being like it was a really good character that I was really attached to.
Wait, so did you get to 3 and get to Rannoch, and did you save the Quarians?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you save the Quarians and the Geth? Or did you kill the Geth?
Which one's the Geth again?
The Geth were the
Those are the weird ones that had like a weird... They were like android race.
Fleshlight.
Sorry, it was the quickest way I could get to that.
Can you only save one or the other?
No, you can save both.
I saved both.
You can save both, but if you've been a fence sitter and not gone high on one or the other, then that's when you end up wiping one of them, and that's what happened to me.
Maybe I did kill the Geth. I definitely saved. Hers was a full side mission that you go onto a home planet.
Yeah, you go back to Rannoch. Tali, it's brutal. If you kill the Geth, if you kill the Quarians, Tali will kill herself. Like that's how her story ends there. If you
maybe she's a bit too crazy.
If you sacrificed, well, because you just watched her species get eradicated, you psycho.
I can't deal with that faggot.
she's emotionally unstable.
Oh, man, just watched a genocide. What a crazy lady.
Wow. Down the list.
No, Tali's romance is really wholesome.
No, you're right. It's all coming back to me now. I'm joking.
That's so funny.
I killed the Geth to impress her, I think.
I killed the Geth to impress her?
Yeah.
Man, look,
I think
line up, ladies, Gus will commit
that
genocide.
seems like with that decision, if you have to choose between the two, that seems like the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
No.
You have a Geth in your team.
Legion, yeah.
No, I think that's maybe what I was trying to do, but I didn't want to. I was trying to make the choice that saved them both, and it inadvertently resulted in the Quarians.
Oh, no.
I remember that being.
Yeah.
I really need to replay this whole series, honestly.
Yeah.
It just does not. I think I'm just going to pick up Mass Effect 2 again.
It felt like.
Do it!
You know those
Text
moments
me.
in the Telltale Walking Dead things where it's like you're given an impossible choice, but it's like it gives you the illusion that you can make the right choice, and then it was like, oh, you want to do that? Such that means this person's dying. You're like, what? No!
Joke's on you! You're a bad person anyway.
It was like one of those scenarios.
And we're all in a good space here, and I don't want to rip on these games at all, but I did just realize how many of these species can you wipe out? Like, there is, like, potentially 4 species in this series that you have the choice of genocide.
Remember, it's your responsibility, Gus.
Exactly. It is. The biodiversity
are we
of the galaxy
counting Reapers as a species?
In theory, but it's not just like, oh, you upset a race. It's like you can wipe out the Geth, you can wipe out the Krogans, you can wipe out the Talis,
the Quarians,
thank
Talis,
you. I never learned her. The rest.
Tracks.
Claims he loves her. Oh yeah, the Rachni. You can get rid of the Rachni. My bad.
Which ones are they?
They're the big spiders, the big old egg sacs that
Can't fuck
spew.
them.
Yeah. I mean, not with that attitude.
Yeah, it's 4. You can wipe out 4 species.
Yeah,
Come up with a new idea, Mass Effect.
Yeah. Huge.
Man, BioWare, what's up with
Speaking
that?
of 4, though, we're keeping her Tali's safe at 4. Are we happy if we see the rest of the board?
I think that's gonna work.
But we're swapping Thane and Liara. Is that what's happening?
Can I have that?
I think so.
I'd move Garrus down to 3 because none of us here have romance. Like we know he's a wholesome, great character that a lot of people love, but I really feel you guys are fighting over like the.
I feel like we're having that discussion because I feel like I have even though I haven't personally romanced Garrus, I have an understanding
of
how
sorry,
important he is.
Sorry, chat.
Universally
Sorry.
beloved.
Garrus
Garrus
stays
is
at
great.
1. Liara at 2. I mean, Will.
I'm doing the. This boy is messy.
Well, so we're moving Thane to 2.
Thane is an underappreciated character.
Yeah.
Let me have this.
Yeah.
I need this for validation for later use. That I didn't waste my time.
And that's it?
That's
okay
it.
with this.
I'm happy with
Let's
this.
look it in.
I can live with this.
All right.
My boy. Look at him go.
We got more clips.
Oh.
There he is.
Oh, I love him so much.
Acid Spunk. Here we go.
Acid Spunk.
How sexy is the sex scene? Because they all vary a little bit.
So here's the thing, because again, Alien, they don't give you much of anything, so you never get to see much. It fades to black after a kiss.
Is it because they don't want to insinuate that body parts are like line up in the same way that humans do, so that you're not just being like, oh, everyone's like a humanoid version of something else?
Maybe. I also think they were just like,
but Liara,
they didn't know what to do with the rest of him.
Sure.
It would be pretty horrifying. It's like opens chest cavity. It's like
he wears a skin tight suit the entire game.
He's got a bit of a package, bit of a bulk.
I personally think there is a lot of modeling that went into, because I remember there was an interview in a magazine about them talking about how many women they interviewed for Thane specifically to create a character that would be ideal for women to romance.
How interesting.
He's got a lot of exposed muscle.
He's got very
on his
like
neck.
Pixar-like eyes and very pillowy lips.
Very sweet.
There is one unfortunate scene where you do realize his eyes aren't actually like that. There's actually a pupil in there, but it's like it looks real cooked. So I pretend that it doesn't have one. It's just a black slate.
It's just a cute anime dog.
Can I recommend a mask?
I mean, there is a skin that he wears that does have a mask.
Okay.
And I'm like, you know what?
But at the end of the day, not particularly a sexy sex scene. Just like a supportive sex scene.
Yes, it's like the sexiness comes from the lack of sexiness, if that makes sense.
It feels it's like
how unsatisfying.
It's like
get out.
You know, like a Regency era romance. You know, it's about it's about the
crossfade to fish tank. It's like that's every Mass Effect sex scene.
Unless you're banging a human, in which case you're like, you know what? Let's get that 6-pack or that butt.
Go for it.
Yeah. It's
I'm
about the what's unsaid and the unspoken and the sexual tension. I get it.
Put
You've
narrative in
literally
my sex
encapsulated
scenes.
it.
Yeah.
Get narrative out of my sex scenes.
Damn right.
Get it out of my games.
Damn right. All right. Well, there it is. The ultimate list.
This was so much fun. Thank you for doing this just for my benefit.
I feel like I learned a lot this stream.
Look, I'd say sorry.
A lot.
I'd say sorry, but I'm really not.
Cosmic Cum. Cosmic Cum.
Cosmic Cum.
It'll burn you.
And we got to play that title card
We
one more
gotta say
time
it one
because
more
when are we going
time.
to say that again?
There it is.
Man. Can I have that sent to me?
Yeah, I'll send it to
can I
you.
just have that?
I'll send it to you.
You
right
can.
now.
I'm going
That
to
should
loop
be-
that.
I know it can't because it can't right now, but one day it should be when you stream your follow alert.
Honestly, is that because I'm getting back into streaming?
Yeah.
I took a break and I'm coming back
Yep.
bigger and better than ever.
Yeah.
With a whole new setup. I would love to use that. Can I buy the rights off you for that?
Oh my gosh, that would
You
be
can
that would be
ask,
so good.
BioWare, because I mean, it's their music.
The only thing I asked for at the end was a big shit
Yeah,
at the end of it.
You never.
I like that boy.
You know,
like a boy.
never came.
Don't worry.
That's what I was hearing in my head.
Amazing. Oh my
Incredible.
gosh. That is our show, you guys. Coming up next, though, we have the post show.
Hey.
I did explain to Jem that she can leave if she doesn't want to stay for that.
was
because-
gonna say-
I know it's a very late night.
Yeah.
But we've only just started with
Wait, what time is it?
what's left, honestly.
It doesn't have to be a sexy post show because we got through a lot.
But it's
just then.
gonna be.
But
It can be a chill wind down.
Yeah, exactly.
The post show, of course, is sponsored by
let's
Loki
go on.
Cat. Loki Cat, a lover of fine scotch and cockatiels. Each week, we like to describe him in the style of some sort of whiskey tasting notes because there's a lot of beautiful descriptive language there, and that's how we like to describe Loki Cat. So today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Loki Cat, a fine man who was established in 1849 and created from a perfect balance of sweet and bitter orange peel,
Ooh.
The unique character and flavor ensures that it is at the heart of the finest of classic cocktails, from a zesty margarita to an elegant white lady. Loki Cat is equally enjoyed as a refreshing long drink, topped with soda and a squeeze of lime. Who chose this?
I did. It's Contro Loki Cat.
I was like, this is the most Gus thing I've ever heard.
Usually we try and choose ones that's like, this could be a description of a person.
Yeah, no, I know, but like last week, we've run out of like whiskey tasting notes, so I've chosen a different.
Well, then use AI, Gus. That's what you always do.
That's true.
Jesus.
I was describing Contro this time.
I thought you were going to say something else then.
Contro. Cosmic cum.
Yeah. I was like, the perfect lead-in's right there.
Straight in.
It was right there. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning into the show. Thank you so much also to everyone who supports us on Patreon. This show wouldn't be possible at all without you guys subscribing on Patreon. We had a really great, I would say, debrief in the town hall the other night. That was really cool.
Thank you to everyone who came along to that. We had a town hall with a whole heap of you guys there. We got through a bunch of questions. That is part of one of our tiers on Patreon. We're doing a bit of a rework. We'll have updates for you guys going ahead in terms of what changes. Basically, it's all good news. It's less mucking around for you guys. It's more consolidating and more people giving more access to more things. So, look forward to that. Keep an eye on this space.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you can't support us on Patreon, really the best way to help us is to share this show with your friends and, anyone you think they'd be interested in it. If you can, repost our stuff on TikTok, any of our social things, all that really helps. Helps kind of boost the show and get it out there to more people. Head to backpocket.gg for links to all of our stuff. Please join our Discord. We got a cool community there. We also have a Redbubble store if you want to wrap Back Pocket with some merch. Jem, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me and letting me lose my mind in the last half hour.
Yeah, totally. You are, of course, presenting on GGSP, but you also stream on Twitch at...
You can find me at GMD on my socials. My Twitch is slightly different, but it's just more ease to those ease. Yeah. You can also catch me at ABC Gamer, and if you want to see my full thoughts on Oxenfree II, it'll be going up there in the next week or so.
Nice. We also like to read the credits so that we can thank all of our patrons on the show. And typically we like to have our guest give it a crack.
Oh, okay.
So if you'd like to read the credits.
I would love to.
Now's your moment.
The mods, we have Gat, Syntax Error, Lisa Dali, Sith Cat, Phoenix O'Lion, Disturb778, Gex or Jex, Caboose, What the Shark, Snail XD, Lord Shadma,
and
Gus
now in GGSP energy.
Dump Days. Honey Bun Bun, We Are Robots. Do you want to say the names of the top things?
Those are their job titles.
Right. Foot Server, Moth Captain, Costume Department by Oranishi, Remover of from Gus's mouth, Babbling, Boffin. Milner for Wilner, what? Snail XD, Back Pocket Legal Team, Burby, I'm so sorry, Head Technician, Kate, my eyesight's terrible. Kate,
that one?
Oh, listen up, who doesn't need glasses?
Get out, Scotty's
getting old like the rest of us.
I will flip you off. Good boy, it's June, Bad Boy, EvilSpyBoy, Box Boy, Boxy, Scotty Breeder, Bifrost, Scotty Feeder, SuperStudios, Pitch Perfector, MiddleCee, Peter's Cable Guy, Waltzy, Designer of Worlds, and Athemy, Community Hot Boy, Nicrotex, and his hot boy, the Coastal City Remover of Sassless, House Band, Muso for Hire, Dinosaur Supervisor, Phil Tippett, Bird Supervisor, Loki Cat.
I like that you put the quotes in your voice there. That was awesome. Well done. Thank you so much, Jem. That was amazing.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
That was our show. Thank you so much. For those who are in the correct tier, we'll see you for the post-show.
Tier.
Well,
get up there.
The required tier for post-show. We'll see you in the post-show. Otherwise, we'll see you next Thursday. Thank you so much. Let's back it out.
See you guys later. Bye.